Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, Robert Meyer Burnett. I invite you to watch and listen to the Designing Hollywood podcast, brought to you by Martika Ibarra and the great, legendary Hollywood costume designer, Marilyn Vance. I am afforded the wonderful opportunity of co-hosting the show. If you are interested in the magic of Hollywood, the design of Hollywood, the clothes of Hollywood, watch the Designing Hollywood podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts from, or find the video version on YouTube. That's right, the Designing Hollywood podcast. Why would you ever want to miss it? Especially if you love the movies. Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Look who it is. It is I, your pharaoh of physical media, and it's your favorite German. But we're gonna get to him in a minute. I'm, of course, Robert Meyer Burnett, and welcome to Let's Get Physical Media, your news of the world of physical media, such as it is this week, ending on Sunday, September 10th. It is also the first day. Well, it's not the first day. Friday was the first day. But this is the first Sunday of NFL action. The Seattle Seahawks are going to trounce the LA Rams starting at 1:25 Pacific time today. So very exciting. I know that has nothing to do. People are like, what's the NFL? I know. But it's happening. It's true. But you know what? You've missed him. I know you've missed him. You've missed him a lot because you haven't heard the dulcet tones from Saarbrücken, Deutschland. You haven't heard him of Mr. Dieter Bastian. Dieter, how are you, sir?
Rob, what is happening in the world? Germany wins the basketball cup, the World Cup, loses against Japan in soccer 4-1. And you would rather have a good old-fashioned whipping than sitting through the dreadful live chat. How was the shoot going, Rob, last week? You informed us about on Instagram. It looked great.
Well, I'll tell you. So the shoot, as many people might not know, I am working with most of the team that made Tango Shalom on a film called White Devils that we've sort of resurrected from the netherworlds, and we were doing a second unit shoot, and we couldn't get the original actor back. Obviously, we're in the middle of a strike, and so I matched kind of his body type, so he gets whipped to death in the movie. So
the usual.
Vinny Gostini, we went to his VFX facility, and I have to say Vinny did a phenomenal job. He really went above and beyond. Great. I posted some pictures. I mean, he did scars. He really messed up my back, and he did a phenomenal job. It was so much fun. So it wasn't just me. We shot some other things going, but I was whipped for hours, and a lot of blood was spilled, and it was a lot of fun. I should point out that this week in Berlin, at the Jewish Film Festival, Tango Shalom opens. Director Gabriel Bologna will be there speaking along with Judy Beecher, the female lead in the movie. So it's, the Jews are conquering Berlin, just saying, this week. And then, of course, in October, Tango Shalom opens at various cities across Germany. I have certain lists, but I'll be posting as I can. And we're moving forward. I should announce, I guess I can announce this on this show. Mike Bodden, my business partner, and I have teamed up with mystery writer Max Allen Collins, and we are going to be producing some audio podcasts based on his dramatic audio podcast based on his Heller novel series. And we're probably we're gonna crowdfund the first one because we have interest in acquiring the whole series, but we have to make one first. So we are going to crowdfund. We're going to do a crowdfund for the first one. But Max Allen Collins wrote Road to Perdition. He just signed a deal with Skydance. He took over from the Mickey Spillane estate, the Mike Hammer novel series that he's been writing. But we're going to be doing his original character, Heller. There's a new Heller book coming out October 10th. But we will be producing that podcast with an all-star cast, which I can't announce right now. But we'll be doing that. So that's coming up. So that's going to be fun. So good doings. We've got White Devils coming and the scripted audio podcast, which is kind of like, when I say that, it's kind of like a movie. You know, if you've heard them on Audible, like The Sandman or Jessica Chastain's new show, we'll be doing that. So we're producing some stuff, and we will be releasing the audio podcasts in Dolby Atmos. So we're going to be releasing them. It's just audio, but it's like the Bob Clearmountain. If you go to super deluxe editions, like for instance, one of the things that was announced, news that was announced, Duran Duran is dropping a Halloween record called Dance Macabre. And if you know, so the super deluxe editions are their remix. It's Bob Clearmountain's company, I think. But he's going back and he's doing Dolby Atmos versions of records like Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. So if you go to the Super Deluxe Editions website, they're putting out Prince's Diamonds and Pearls. So what they do is they release the records, but they release them on Blu-ray, and they have 5.1 mixes and Dolby Atmos mixes.
Oh, that's great. Great.
And that's what we're going to be doing. So if you go to superdeluxeeditions.com, and the only way you can get the new Duran Duran album in Dolby Atmos is getting it from Super Deluxe Edition. So if you want to go there, I went and pre-ordered Diamonds and Pearls, and I ordered Dance Macabre there. And what's interesting about this Duran Duran record is there's some covers on it, cover songs of other people's work. I think they're covering a Susie and the Banshees song. Okay. And then they're going back and they're doing like some of their B-sides, like Secret October from way back in the day. They've reworked it. It's now Secret October 31st because it's a Halloween record. And so it's a mix of old and new stuff. Pretty interesting. That was inspired by a show they did in Las Vegas last year. So as a Durani, I was excited to see that. So go to Super Deluxe Edition and order. They got some great stuff there. They put out, and the thing is, all their shit sells out. And I thought like I could get. They just put out ABC's The Look of Love, which I always love that record. It's gone. They actually put this year's Tears for Fears record that I never bought, which I don't know why, because I love Tears for Fears, and it's gone. So if you don't get the super, you got to look for it on the secondary market. But go to Super Deluxe Edition and check it out. By the way, I'm not being paid by Super Deluxe Edition. I'm not.
No, it's about physical media, Rob.
It's about physical media. So you can still go there and get some great stuff. And also, this is something else exciting. Another thing that I will be crowdfunding is, back in 2005, I self-published a comic book that some people know about called Living in Infamy. And it was only published once, and it got good reviews, and it was written by Derek Hughes and Ben Rabb, and they went on to executive produce shows like, well, they worked on Warehouse 13, they worked on The Flash, and they created this series, and it's been out of print. So Ben found all the original files, and we were going to do reprints of it. I wanted to do a nice hardcover slipcase version, but we couldn't find the files. He found the files. He sent me a picture yesterday. He goes, "Look what I found." So we're going to I'll crowdfund it again, but it's going to be all 4 issues of the miniseries collected in 2 different versions. And I had Matt Wagner of Grendel fame, and he did Mage. He painted a cover for this graphic novel that we were going to do, and it's never been seen, never been used. So we're going to use that for the slipcase edition. We'll probably do that. I don't know if it'll be ready for Christmas. I have to look into seeing about how much it's going to cost and to print, but we'll be doing that too.
Awesome
So,
to hear.
You know, what can I say?
And Rob, since we are always at the end of the week, but we are the first to report, the Conjuring franchise is coming back with a new spin-off, The Nun 2. How did it do at the box office, Rob?
Well,
is there still money in the bank left for the Conjuring franchise?
Yes, Deets. There is lots of money left for the Conjuring franchise, and it's pretty amazing that I'm trying to. So here's what I can say.
Yeah.
You're gonna love this. Now this is the entertainment press is known for their headlines.
Yeah.
The Nun 2 is answering the exhibitors' prayers
Ooh.
during strikes with a $32 million opening.
Nice.
And this comes from our friend Anthony D'Alessandro. New Line's Michael Chave's horror sequel, The Nun 2, is meeting all of its opening weekend expectations with a $32.6 million take, even though that's 39% off from The Nun 1's $53.8 million. It's wonky times with the Pic's lead stars Taissa Farmiga and Storm Reed, and the studio unable to truly splash this event-wise because they can't. They can't promote it. The actors can't promote it due to the actor strike. The sequel cost $38.5 million before prints and advertising. The 3-day ease between the opening of the first and second Annabelle was 6%, while it was 12% between Blumhouse's first two Purge titles. But anyway, that's still thank you, Warner Brothers. The result here for the marketplace is better than the doldrums we had a year ago when Disney opened 20th Century Fox's Regency horror title Barbarian. By the way, Barbarian, not on physical media.
Unfortunately not.
We're going to talk about Second Sight later. I don't understand. I don't know what the fuck is going on at Disney with their stock price in the fucking toilet. I mean, hey, why not license out? Here, I got two titles for you that I want you to give to Second Sight. One is Barbarian, and the other is The Empty Man, David Pryor's Empty Man.
Ooh, nice.
Give those,
Nice,
because you don't give a fuck about those movies. Give those movies to Second Sight. We're going to talk about Second Sight later because I got a juicy box from them this week. Did you? Did you get anything from Second Sight?
Yeah.
They brought the noise. I spent last night watching.
And those two titles are really fitting with the two that we got, Rob.
Oh, I'm telling you. And have you watched any of those yet?
Unfortunately, not, Rob.
I watched one of them with Elizabeth. She hadn't seen it. Now, when I first saw it, because I saw the first one, I'm not going to say what it is yet in the theater. Yeah. I liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it a lot more.
Ooh, that's great.
This time. But first of all, it is a banger of a release. And the transfer, oh my God. The transfer of this little indie film, I mean, I'll tell you, the thing that I'm most jonesing for so far, and we're not going to get it this year because Second Sight, when they make deals to release things, a lot of the time they have to let everybody else release versions before. But I'll wait because Second Sight goes in and does their version of The Witch is infinitely better than what came out. And Robert Eggers, the director, was not happy with his Blu-ray release. And then Second Sight rolls in and does it right with the 4Ks. And of course, Second Sight released my favorite bit of physical media of all time, which is their Dawn of the Dead box set in 4K. Best physical media release ever in terms of movies, I think, just because it's Dawn of the Dead. But they do such a phenomenal job in this one release. It's really interesting. We'll talk about this later. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yes, Barbarian and The Empty Man. They've recorded an audio commentary. Roy Lee and the director recorded an audio commentary for Barbarian that they've done nothing with, I don't think. And why? I mean, horror. Every time a horror movie's coming out, they're making money. These films are making money, and the Conjuring franchise has to be. I mean, in terms of return on investment, I don't know what the ratio is. That franchise, James Wan, between the Insidious franchise. Remember, he started Insidious, he started Saw, and the Conjuring franchise. That guy's got to be the king of horror. I mean, in terms of, and you know what? Saw X looks really good. Bringing back.
I haven't seen anything, Rob. Until now.
Looks good, man. The first three Saw movies are, I think they're great for what they are.
I love the whole series, Rob.
I mean, where else can you see a head other than Cube? Cutting out. That's great stuff. Anyway, where are we at? Oh, yeah. So anyway, The Nun 2 did well.
Yeah.
So then we have, let me check the list. So number 2, Equalizer 3 with 12 million for a total of 61.9 million. Have you seen Equalizer 3?
No, unfortunately not, Rob.
Bruh, you gotta see it. I can't get enough. Just Denzel Washington, 9 seconds, 12, whatever. I'll watch these. My only problem, and it's in Italy, my only problem with this franchise is there's no peril. That no one's going to touch Denzel Washington. But it's fun because I just love watching him.
Espresso.
I just love watching him wreck fools. I mean, it's and the movies are Anton Fuqua. He's Antoine. Give that man I know he's going to do the Michael Jackson biopic next. I don't envy him, but Anton Fuqua is a guy. I don't care what he makes. I'll watch it. He never disappoints.
How would be your ranking with the third one, Rob, in the franchise?
Well, I'm a sucker for. Look, first of all, I'm a sucker for Italy and Mafia. You know what? I like the second one more. I would probably.
Yeah.
I would say 1, 2, and 3. I think that. Okay. But you know what? They're all good. A lot of people don't like. I like the second one more than a lot of people.
Yeah, I like.
Pedro Pascal and
Hurricane at the end was great.
Yeah. So Equalizer 3 is up to 61 million. My big Nia Vardalos comes back directing My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2. I'd like to point out that Lainey Kazan comes back in this movie just for a little bit, but she also stars in Tango Shalom, which, by the way, did you know that Tango Shalom is going to be at the Berlin Jewish Film Festival on the 13th?
Yeah, somewhat.
Mere 3 days from now. Do you remember? Okay, so there you go. We got Lainey Kazan on screen. That made $10 million this weekend. Jawan, which I don't know anything about. Is it a Bollywood film? I think it is.
Yeah, I think so. Chris Gore reviewed it on the film frame, I believe. Yeah.
I love seeing, because of RRR, I think the market in America at least has been blown open a little bit for Indian films, which, hey, I'm all for, which is great. Because, to be honest, Indian women are stunningly beautiful in these movies. So what's not to love? And the action's great. Not a lot of verisimilitude, but who cares? It's fine. It's a style. Then we got this movie Barbie, dude. Barbie's. Do you know how much Barbie has made domestically in the United States? Take a guess.
It should have been around the 550 mark.
$620 million.
Ooh,
that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Someone's living in a dream house. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach are buying a new home, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Blue Beetle has made $63.7 million domestically for a total take of $100 million. Now, remember, this was a movie that was originally made for streaming. So if they didn't make it, if they didn't bump up and add some money, I mean, I don't know what that means to the bottom line, but this was going to be a streaming-only movie, and it made $100 million. Warner Brothers' Evil Dead Rise was also going to be a streaming movie. So I don't know what lessons you can take from that. Gran Turismo made $3.37 million for a $35 million take. And Oppenheimer, bro, if you'd asked me if this would be the case, I would have said no. Oppenheimer has made $315 million in the United States. Who says we're a nation of dumbed-down idiots? We're not. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is up to $111.3 million. And then the lesbian comedy Bottoms, about chicks that start a fight club to meet girls. Hey, could happen.
I mean,
I'm all about that. Is up to $7.6 million. Now, I hear this movie is hilarious. I really want to see it. And so actually, you know what? I've seen some. To be honest, I've seen probably more than I should have. I've seen it, but I can't tell you how. It was not. Okay. I saw it. Okay. Not legally.
Okay, let's leave it at that.
But it is really hilarious, and like Joyride, I'm really surprised that it hasn't made more money, because it's really funny, and so is Joyride. And I think that they should re-release the movies as a double feature, make it like a Barbenheimer thing. But the funny movies you didn't see. So there you go.
Nice.
Yeah, and so there. That's the box office. DEETS.
Yeah. And Rob, since we've been away for 2 weeks, I would say let's start. Show some physical media. Who starts?
Okay, first of all, now I'll give credit where credit is due. You know, I was bagging on Ascendia Lost Package. Well, I got something, and I was really worried about this because this was something I really wanted to get, and this just came. The BFI. This is BFI, right?
Ooh,
it's Eureka.
Nice.
The Eureka Zulewski's Andre Zulewski. Is it Zulewski? That's
Zulewski.
Zulewski. You know, now why is this disc? First of all, he directed Possession with Isabella Gianni and Sam Neill. I haven't even opened this because I just got it. But what this has in it, his movie The Devil, that I really love. But what this has that I've never seen is he made an epic science fiction movie called On the Silver Globe, which I've never seen. He was never able to finish it because they came and took it away from him when he was making it. But there's enough that you can see, and it's supposed to be epic. It's an Eastern Bloc sci-fi movie I've wanted to see all my life. I was really worried about this. Elliot, is it Elliot who does the British? Is it Elliot Cohen, the soft-spoken guy who always talks about Criterion?
I think so.
He got this, and I was like, God damn it! If he got this, it better come to me. I'll get really upset if it doesn't come to me. We should have him on the show.
Wasn't it advertised with different cover artwork? I remember.
I don't know. I mean, this looks kind of like
when you did go through the new releases, which will be coming out. I remember being a different
probably.
artwork.
I mean, look, this is from Eureka. It comes with a book too.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to have this. So hey, this came. Thank you.
Nice.
Ascendia, I didn't check and even see Ascendia. You lost my heart. First of all, my Radiance, who I want to talk about a little later, the label that was an offshoot of people who were working for Arrow started Radiance. They had a copy of The Hotspot. The Dennis Hopper, Don Johnson movie. That was part of the package that was lost. Now you can't get it. It's gone. I can't even find it on secondary markets. So you UK people, I need Radiance's copy of The Hotspot. I love that movie, and it was supposed to come to me, and Ascendia lost it, so fuck you, Ascendia. The Hotspot, Radiance is The Hotspot. That was going to be my first Radiance disc. Anyway, got this. You know what else I got? Steelbook.
Nice.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Not that, do you need this? It's funny. I love this movie. It's got a picture of them in the museum. Sloane, and of course Cameron. Yeah. Let my Cameron go. And that's fine, So I got this cool steelbook, right? If you like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And then, Dieter, let's see. Let's talk about this because, oh my God, I got Holy Spider.
Finally, Rob.
Yeah.
Finally.
I got Holy Spider.
But this is the American disc?
Yeah, this is the American disc.
Yeah, nice.
Comes from MVD. It looks good. There's a lot of special features, a lot of interviews on here that were obviously done during COVID and some at film festivals. This movie's fucked up. And I was like, hey, Elizabeth.
Tell the people about it, Rob.
I go, hey, Elizabeth, let's watch this movie. This film is set in Iran. It's based on a true story that happened in the early aughts. And there's a family man, a gentleman with a beautiful wife and 2 kids. He works in construction. And by the way, this movie's rough. It's rough. He goes and by night picks up prostitutes. He does not have sex with them. He picks up the prostitutes and he strangles them to death. And he dumps their bodies at a nearby sort of empty lot. And he kills 17 women. And in his mind, or so he says, it's part of the story. Yep. And the cops have no leads. And a woman reporter comes into town to track down the story to see what's going on. And long story short, she gets involved in the investigation. And then I guess it's not a spoiler because if you look into the real event, he is eventually apprehended. But here's the thing. The patriarchal, misogynist culture of Iran, many people, both men and women, think that this man is doing Allah's work. That killing these prostitutes, these unclean, uncouth
cleaning
women,
the streets.
Is cleaning the streets. And it is absolutely chilling. It's beautifully made by an Iranian director who lives in Copenhagen. This movie the disc is beautiful. It's really, really, really well done. The sound design in this movie is incredible. Peak verisimilitude. This film is disturbing. It is thought-provoking. It makes you angry watching it. And I'll tell you, it makes me never want to live in the Middle East, let me tell you. It's a great film. I think it's a great film. There's really great special features on this. Yeah. Really, really good. Now, another
Totally.
movie, it's funny because Elizabeth and I have been watching like movies every night. So I'm trying to catch up and like when I get discs, watch them. Another movie that came in, once again, our unofficial sponsor, Kino Lorber, sent in, well, I got the 4K of 3 Days of the Condor that I think this
Nice.
came out, it's already came out. I really love this movie, and it's funny watching it again. Elizabeth had never seen it. You know, I consider it one of the great. Sidney Pollack directed it. Sidney Pollack and Robert Redford had a great relationship. They made movies like Jeremiah Johnson together. There's great repurposed special features on this disc. The transfer is better than the Studio Canal transfer that has much more teal and orange in it than this does. I don't know what's up with the French. What's with their teal and orange? I don't know. They do that with all their transfers. So this 4K looks fantastic. Again, you know, people like Jeffrey Wells, if you read Hollywood Elsewhere, he'll say, I'm not feeling the bump in the 4K upgrade. But the grain is this film looks beautiful. Looks like you're watching it on a theater screen in 1975. It's really, really great. And you know, it's funny to watch this. Like, there's a scene where Robert Redford sort of takes Faye Dunaway hostage because he's running for his life, and they actually have a romantic interlude. And Elizabeth was like, you know, why is this happening? And Jeffrey Wells even brought this up on his website. Like, you know, it's weird that they jump into bed together. And I said, you know what? Watching this movie, I'm watching this film again. Robert Redford is looking at Faye Dunaway's art. And Faye Dunaway's dating a douchebag that we learn in this movie. And she's a photographer. And Robert Redford starts looking at her photographs and has this beautiful analysis of her work. Probably the first time anyone's really analyzed her photography. And he completely nails it. He completely nails and understands what she's seeing. That's why they develop a romantic interlude, because for probably the first time in Faye Dunaway's lonely life in New York, and she looks beautiful in this movie, a man really sees her and sees her work. And that's why. That explains how it turns into a romantic interlude. Anyway, and the other thing is, Max von Sydow rules in this movie, and one of my favorite scenes is the climax between the two of them. So get this movie. It's great. Thank you, Kino Lorber. It's fantastic.
I don't know the cover artwork, Rob. Is this a new one or is this an old poster artwork for the movie?
Yeah. I mean, this is, you know, it's funny. I haven't looked to see. I don't think this has a reversible cover. No. Okay. But it does. You know, the special features are on the Blu-ray, and no, this looks like classic cover art to me. So, yeah, Kino Lorber. You know what? Kino Lorber is killing the 4K business. They are just killing it. They're putting out so many great titles. They got more coming, and we'll talk about that. Let's see. What else did I get? I got lots of interesting things, to be honest.
Yeah. Don't show it all, Rob. Just the first part.
Oh, no, I won't. I won't.
Well, the good thing is, since we've been away last week, we have more stuff to show. So there's always an upside.
Oh, I have a lot of stuff to show, so, but I'll just keep going. The original Battlestar Galactica 4K disc. This is the theatrical version of Battlestar Galactica where John Colicos's Baltar dies. This looks fantastic if you like. I saw this. What's really interesting is I saw this in Canada, I want to say before it aired, in Sense-Around. The theatrical version. So it looks great if you're a Battlestar Galactica completist. You kind of need to have it. And then this, dude. This disc is fucking stunning. Disney back on top.
Told us about.
Yeah, back on top with Nightmare Before Christmas. They went back to the original negative with this. This looks and sounds amazing. If you like this movie, it's never going to look and sound this good. Now, this to me is a return to form for Disney on 4K. I'm like, yo, Disney, where's the Fox library? Hello, make it look like this. Hello, what's this?
Nice.
There's discs in the air, which is good. Then I got this, which I have not seen yet. This is Moorhead and Benson, Something in the Dirt. I'm a huge fan of these guys. You know, they made Resolution. They made The Endless. They made Spring. They made Synchronic. They directed episodes of Moon Knight, and they did this, which I have not seen. And I think that
for me, it's the my least favorite of them.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, but I haven't. So why do you got to harsh my mellow? Why do you got to do that?
Yeah, it's just the concept.
So got this, and now now I have been looking at Radiance is an offshoot of Arrow. The people moved over there. I had never got a Radiance disc. That has been a grave mistake on my part. I got this, A Moment of Romance, my first Radiance disc. First of all, I love this company, and I'm going to tell you something. What I really appreciate about Radiance that I've never heard anybody say it. And maybe this is a weird fetishistic thing for me. So here's their cover, right? If you've ever bought a disc or a CD from Japan, and there's a name for this, and I don't know what the name. You see this white thing here?
Yeah, I know what you mean, Rob.
You know what I mean?
But I don't know the how you name.
I don't know what you name, but check this out. So, like
it totally looks Japan.
It's totally, and not only that, it looks Japan. You take it out, and when you take it out, which you can, then you get the full cover.
Nice.
But, and I was one of these people, as I was growing up, I'm like, fuck these little things, and I don't even know what they're called. But not only...
No, I always let them in, Rob, to see. This is a Japanese release.
I know, because I was... But look, they've even got ads for their... So already, Radiance, score one for them. I'd never seen this movie. First of all, not only do you get the cool Radiance cover, like your favorite thing, dude.
Yeah.
You get the Asian cover.
Tough.
I mean, this company, and by the way, this transfer is great, and I love this movie. I'd never seen this movie before, but I loved it, and I am now on the Radiance bandwagon, and I feel that it's necessary. It's probably a stupid thing to do, because every time I think I'm done collecting, and I'm not going to go back, and now I'm going to be like, okay, and I'm looking at this spine. This spine is 23. So this is their 23rd release, which means that's doable. I can go back and get all their releases. That's doable for me. So I'm like 23 releases. So now I'm on the Radiance bandwagon, and they do. It's no wonder. Like we got to get the person. I don't know who. Hey, people from Radiance, if you want, I want to have you come on the show. I want to interview you and talk to you about. You're one of my new favorite video labels, and I feel remiss that we haven't been talking about you since.
Is this from the UK, Rob?
Yes, these are out of the UK. But here's the thing: the fucking hotspot would have been my first Radiance disc, and I can't find it, and they only released like 3,000. That's another thing, But I'm on the Radiance bandwagon. By the way, this movie's from 1990. It was directed by Benny Chan. This movie has a really interesting story. I would say it was co-directed by Benny Chan, according to what's on the Radiance disc. But this is some great shit. So I'm telling you, Radiance, you've got my vote. I know you're not an unofficial sponsor of this channel, but if you want to be, I'll send you my address. And can I get a hotspot disc from you? I'll pay double. What's the problem? So there you go. There's some of my haul.
Okay. My haul at first, Rob, I did show 2 weeks ago the Alice Cooper Quadio disc, but what I didn't show, because you probably couldn't see it, the case was actually damaged. You can see it here. And I had to get new ones, and since this is a super jewel case, it was not that easy to get, Rob. I had to go to eBay to find some super jewel cases, because this is not a normal CD case. So I had to replace that one. Then I think 2 weeks ago I showed the movie Freaks, which unfortunately the 4K was not subtitled, so I had to get the German edition too, and I will probably put that in to the Italian version somehow, but I haven't seen the movie, so I can't tell you anything about the movie itself. The next one I actually have on pre-order the steelbook, but I totally love the normal cover artwork from the American version, so I don't know if I will keep the pre-order for the steelbook open. I got the Flash, because I love its cover artwork. Okay, it's the same underneath. And since I love the movie, the Flash, of course, in 4K.
Well, hang on there, old sport.
Yeah, you got it too, Rob?
I do.
That is.
And you know what? Fuck the haters.
Yeah.
I like this movie.
Of course, Rob.
And I showed this to Elizabeth. She'd never seen it. She loved it too. Now, watching it again, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Who killed Barry Allen's mom?
We don't know.
I mean, this is a lingering plot point that this movie doesn't answer. I'm like, wait a minute. So I think that's a glaring omission.
Yeah, but for me, Rob, it wasn't about finding out who the murderer is. He only wanted to adjust the time in a little tiny fragment that he was thought wouldn't do anything. Just a tomato soup, nothing more. Bruce warned him, but only that little cup of tomatoes.
And by the way, this has some good special features on it. The deleted scenes suck.
Yeah.
They shot a lot of stuff for this movie that we didn't see with other actors. I wanted to see all of that. Unfortunately, this met the demise at the box office, which was too bad. But anyway, I do like this movie, and this disc is beautiful. Yeah. It's absolutely beautiful. So anyway.
Yeah. Great. The Flash. Let me just see where I switched to. Speaking of Alice Cooper, Alice has a new album out, simply called The Road. Totally loved it. I read that the band did almost all songs in just one take. That's what I heard. Can't confirm it. And this is the version. There are different versions of the album. And this comes with a Blu-ray with a live performance of it. So Alice still rocking it with a new album called simply Road. Then we get over to Arrow, some 4K releases. I got Weird Science from them, which of course comes with reversible cover artwork. And
oh wait, you mean
inside
this?
Yeah, exactly, Rob. Ha! I'm ahead of you, Rob. I'm ahead of you.
Again, I love this matte finished cover from them. Yeah. It's funny. I didn't reverse my cover, which now I'm going to do.
We got the poster artwork for the two, and of course a booklet is inside it too. But you have to be careful once again, because this is the 4K release, but there is a Blu-ray release also.
I would also caution people. It does have like the original 2-channel stereo mix and a 5.1 mix on this. When I first threw this in to look at it, and for what it is, it looks really, really good. It defaults to the 2. It looks like it defaults to the 2-channel.
Oh, okay.
Which was, I was like, what's wrong? I'm like, okay. So I went and looked. So just something to be mindful of.
Yeah.
But
this Rob, considering watching movies, isn't that the first thing you do? My first take is going to the audio section and picking up my.
I normally do. I don't know why.
Okay.
I didn't, because sometimes I forget that movies like Weird Science don't have, that they have multiple audio choices, and I should have known that with Arrow.
Yeah. And the other one that I got, for me, a legitimate, actually remake that I totally love. I got the 4K from The Last House on the left. The only drawback is the unrated version is just on the Blu-ray, so the 4K is just the theatrical version. And it comes,
it's a bummer because they probably finished it on tape, so they don't have a negative. They can't bump it up.
And the strange thing too, Rob, is the special features are all on the 4K. New interviews with cast, and the unrated version on the Blu-ray is just the movie with a nice bitrate. So Last House on the left, which comes, let me just see, with a booklet too. Rob, your thoughts? Did you like the remake, or did you thought it was trash?
No, I liked it. It's just, rape revenge movies only I can only deal with. It's I mean, it was well done. I would say it was well done. It's just, it's not the most pleasant movie to watch. It's not like, hey, let's watch. Hi, honey, let's watch another. We watched Thriller.
Yeah,
we watched Thriller, A Cruel Picture last night, and the hardcore one with the pornography. Let's watch Last House on the Left today, and then watch a Serbian film tomorrow. I mean, I live in a house.
Movie diet, like your friend Discord says, Rob. Movie diet.
Yeah, I know. But I live in our media room. It's right off the kitchen. So if I'm watching something that's very unsavory, the ladies can walk in and then like, what the hell are you watching? What kind of person are you? I don't want that to happen.
Rob, the controversy, the microwave scene for you. Yes, it needed to be in the movie or not?
No, come on, man. Sure it did.
Of course.
If you're gonna make,
don't forget that scene.
If you're gonna do it, do it. If you're gonna pull it, you gotta use it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the next two from 88 films, and I love that 88 films now has more the Vinegar Syndrome outer package with their with their shell paper thing. So I got, and considering 88. They're releasing so much movies, Rob, that I didn't even know existed or never heard of. Which Cat in the Bag is actually Taxi Hunter for me with Anthony Wong. So never seen this movie. Taxi Hunter, and comes with the poster artwork as a folded poster inside. So I've never seen Taxi Hunter. So this was the first one from 88. And the second one, which is also new to me, is called From Ronnie Yu, the Postman Fights Back. With Joey Fett, correct? And which has, of course, a reversible cover artwork also. And the folded poster of it. So 2 Cat in the Bags from Arrow.
Nice.
So this for the first haul, for the first part of my haul for the last 2 weeks.
Well, there you go, buddy.
Yeah. Will you go to some super chats, Rob, that we got so far?
Why not? Why not see what the people out there are saying?
Postman Fights Back.
Let's see. Let's find out what's going on. The X-Files, Die Dinks says, happy 30th anniversary to the X-Files. My God.
Ooh,
I guess that would be, that makes sense. Sunday, September 10th that it debuted. Wow. I have all seasons of the X-Files on Blu-ray because they remastered them like they remastered Next Generation, which is cool, which is awesome. So, yeah, I love the X-Files. Boy, that second X-Files movie was terrible.
I don't even know how it was called, the second one.
Yeah, it's probably best you don't.
Was there two X-Files movies?
Yeah, there's X-Files Fight the Future, and then there was the second one.
I only remember
the second one. So, yeah, but that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Undead 6 says, first of all, happy birthday. Okay, everybody, okay. First of all, thank you for saying that.
What is that with your happy birthday?
Okay. So I did a stream yesterday. I said after 57 years, Star Trek turned 57 on September 8th, 2 days ago. So I decided to refrain from doing a Star Trek stream on Star Trek Day, which is September 8th, because it debuted on American television September 8th. I think it debuted the day before in Canada, but so I said after 57 years, I thought people would understand that's Star Trek's 50. It's not my birthday. It was Star Trek's birthday. And I felt bad because people were sending in me super chats like, happy birthday, dude. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not my birthday. I mean, some people could say that I can celebrate Star Trek's birthday should be my birthday, but it's not, So, but anyway.
So it's the new running joke for getting you scripts.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Rob. You know what? And I just say that every day is my birthday,
Yeah.
They say it's your birthday. It's my birthday too. So Undead Six says, well, thanks. Happy birthday. Unfortunately. Then Undead Six says, secondly, have you seen Itsy Bitsy directed by Micah Gallo yet? It's a movie that I helped fund through crowdfunding. I have not seen Itsy Bitsy.
Itsy Bitsy.
But I was unaware of it. We'll have to look into that.
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Do they have a physical media version, and can I buy it?
I remember such a title, but I don't know if this was the movie he's referring to. I remember such a title.
Yeah, I don't know.
But not. And I think I have something like I have to check. To do some research about that Itsy Bitsy.
Itsy Bitsy. I bet it's about a spider. Just saying.
Yeah.
Mike Alito says, even I liked Barbarian, and I'm not a horror guy. Yeah, because Barbarian's good. Tom Jr. Jackson says, Laney made me tear up in My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, but it's a nice film and wonderful views and a great palate cleanser. Andrea Martin as well. Well, that's good to hear. I think that that's good. That's nice. I like to hear that. Kids Hall State says, who do you think should buy A24 in the future? Nobody. Nobody should buy A24. They should. I think A24 is somehow affiliated with Warner Brothers or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
But nobody should buy A24. They should have their autonomy.
Definitely not.
A24 is killing it. Go to the A24
they have
store.
Their own niche.
Yeah, give A24. Yes, nobody. Don't let anybody buy. Yeah, no. That's not good. Adventure Square says, I read how Bill Hunt convinced Universal reps to release 4K. 4Ks of the original classic monsters. So glad he did, because it led to the 30 movie set with all my faves that's coming my way this week. Thoughts? Well, it's coming. Are you getting it early, Adventure Square? That's good. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't release the classic monster movies in 4K. The ultimate 4K, great 4K transfers are where movies should wind up. They're the end of the road for physical media. And I've been buying the classic monsters, and so it's funny. I showed Elizabeth and I think we might have done this for Let's Get Physical. I mean, for whining about movies. Yeah, we watched Bride of Frankenstein, and wow, what a great movie that is. And I love the grain patterns of those movies. So seeing them in 4K is great. So that's what they should be. And, once they're on 4K, they're basically future-proofed. We're going to have them to stream, and, all movies should be in 4K, I think. So that's very cool. I would love to know. And, by the way, I like the sort of Frankenstein cover art on that collection. I think it's really cool. Yeah. I think it's really cool. Yeah. Secular Monk says, I finished Hugo on 4K. Good transfer arrow. That's one of the most underrated Martin Scorsese movies ever. I need to get that. I don't know why I didn't get Hugo on 4K, because I've got the 3D disc.
Yeah, exactly, Rob. That's why I'm hesitant to.
I know.
Upgrade it. As long as
by the way, some of the best 3D ever done.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah. And the disc is, as far as I know, the same as in the page, almost the same from the transfer, considering the 3D.
Right, but you got to get it in 4K. But yeah. Irene Jobson says,
perhaps as a Schnäppchen.
Yeah. Irene Jobson says, "Happy birthday, Rob." Are you going to bring me a present to unwrap, Irene? Just asking. Undead Six says, Shout Factory released Itsy Bitsy, Rob, and it stars Bruce Davidson and Denise Crosby, and it's from 2019. I gotta get it. I was totally unaware.
No.
Totally unaware.
And it's a different movie that I was thinking about.
Guy Newby says, I just got the Jaws Film Vault box set. It is beautiful.
Okay.
I don't have that. It's my second favorite film after The Thing. So what you're saying is you're a Universal fanboy. In a box set I never thought I would ever own, and I love it. Guy, that is a great... I wonder if I should pull that up. I'm glad you got that. But yeah, I mean, Jaws is one of the great movies ever made. It's... no
doubt about it.
Yeah. So, it's really great. And let me see the if we've got the Film Vault. It is beautiful. And let me see if your location is the United States. They made, by the way, 200 of these. So the Film Vault box set, only 200 of them. So I can only imagine trying to get, and it's funny, it says sold out. Really? It's sold out. I never would have guessed.
No surprise there.
Yeah, no surprise there. And it's got its own artwork and stuff, and I think it's cool. I mean, you know, the funny thing about this is it's really, really great. So it does have a print in it, but here, let me throw up, because there is a lot of companies that we don't really cover. Like a lot of these smaller, really exclusive releases, some of them I'm interested in, a lot of them, because at 200, I can't even. Yeah. It's like Mondo releases; they make them so small. It's like, do you want to spend your life? And if you don't get them, but it's beautiful. So here's the cover of the Film Vault release, which is, I mean, it's beautiful. I love this artwork. But then here's all the goodies it comes with. But again, there's only 200 of them, and so it's, but it's gorgeous. I wonder, how much did you pay for it, Guy? Did you get it? Was it a Schnäppchen?
Perhaps not. But I think it could be available in some international markets, Rob. I think.
Yeah, because but it's not going to be cheap.
Yeah. But like you, we already have Jaws in 4K, so you have to justify.
Well, but the justification is if you love the movie, you spend the money.
Yeah.
Like me getting that ridiculously expensive French To Live and Die in L.A. book.
That
the French Amazon fucked me on. Stubble McShave says that he agrees that Max von Sydow is the boss in 3 Days of the Condor. What I love about him is he's just so calm. He's like, look, man, I get paid to do a job. I'm here to do the job. I get paid, I leave, I go back to Europe. It's great. Adventure Square says, I just got the 30 movie set a few minutes ago. So he got dropped off. I've welcomed I welcomed Bella into my home now during the show. So technically he can visit all of us at any time. Well, you know what? Bella Lugosi's dead. I'm just saying. I've heard that song. The virginal brides file past his tomb. It's true. But congratulations, Adventure Square. You should do a review. Send us a review. Tell us what it's all about. But, thank you for that. And so we're caught up. We're caught up on Super Chats.
Then I would switch over to the letters, Rob, that you did send me.
Okay.
And of course, we have more than one, once again, from Brian Knight. Here we go. Brian Knight. Can't wait for Ilsa, Tigress of Siberia. Robert and Dieter sent a couple of emails last year about Ilsa, if I remember, about her death in 2020 and how they used the Hogan Heroes exteriors for the first movie.
Yep.
It took a couple of years, but I eventually found a DVD copy of Ilsa, Tigress of Siberia. Great backstory, good plot, and action, and an interesting revenge ending. Simply waiting for a nice Blu-ray release, hopefully with new special features along with the current features. Well, we did get good news last 14 days ago, Rob, considering the Ilsa movies. They will come out not in 4K, but as new Blu-rays.
Yes, as new from Kino Lorber.
Yeah. That's great to know. But there will be, like you said, individual release. It will not be a box set. I was under the impression it was a box set, but they are just individual releases of the Ilsa movies. Okay. The next one from Brian Knight. Specifically, why not Dr. No for your first James Bond movie? Robert, I have been a James Bond aficionado for the last 50 years. I grew up watching Sean Connery and Roger Moore on ABC's Sunday night movies. You mentioned in generalities why Dr. No shouldn't be the first movie to watch in the franchise. Could you please provide specific examples? Yes, the car chases are a rear screen projection. The fire-breathing dragon doesn't look good in the sunlight, and the explosions in the guano processing plant are clearly miniature models. Is there some current social beliefs which conflict with a movie made 60 years ago? Personally, I find Dr. No is the essential movie to start a franchise. Everything Bond will be for the next 60 years is revealed in this movie. It wasn't until Craig did they start experimenting with the Bond character. So, Brian, from my point of view, rear projection and miniature stuff is present in the other 007 movies too. Considering the first one, for me, it's a little bit, even if it's one of the classic movie tunes, and I love it to death, but they play it in the first movie a little bit, overkill. A little bit overkill.
Okay, to answer Brian's question, I would say this. Now, look, I'm a Bond purist as well. I grew up with the Bond films, but if you've recently revisited, there's a lot of people. I make this point a lot on Robservations. If you're somebody that grew up in the post-Jurassic Park world, where you've seen photorealistic dinosaurs,
exactly.
And this is, as a film fan, what I'm going to say might be considered sacrilegious, but if you've grown up in that world, Jurassic Park would have come out. If you were born in 1993 when Jurassic Park came out, you'd be 30 right now. So, if let's say I asked you to go back and watch Jason and the Argonauts, when I was a kid, that Ray Harryhausen, the fight at the end with the big skeleton battle was one of the coolest things I'd ever seen. But that's because I grew up in a pre-Star Wars world, where stop motion animation was literally all that existed. And if you think about it, Ray Harryhausen's last movie was Clash of the Titans, which came out in 1981, which was playing at the same time in the same theater that Raiders of the Lost Ark and For Your Eyes Only was playing. So in up to 81, I was seeing stop motion animation like the Medusa and all that was very, very cool. I still watch stop motion animation. There is no way most audiences are going to go back and they're going to be able to watch Jason and the Argonauts and take it seriously. So if you're trying to get somebody who is, say, 30 or even 40, who's never seen a James Bond movie, and you ask them to go back and start watching Dr. No, it's interminable. The pacing is very, very slow. As much as I love, and I love the James Bond franchise, but it's almost impossible to get. Now, I'm talking about, if there's discerning cineasts that are willing to sit down, but when you're watching a Bond movie, you're expecting it. Bond now has to compete with everything from Bourne and Mission Impossible to Die Hard to whatever.
The big ones.
And it's really difficult to go. But look, I have an original Dr. No one sheet, linen backed and museum quality framed on my media room wall. So it's not like I don't love Dr. No, but you can't. I couldn't in good conscience tell somebody to go back and watch Dr. No if they've never seen a Bond movie. I would tell them to start with From Russia with Love, because even that movie begins with a pre-title sequence that is more intriguing. And it's not that Dr. No is a bad movie, because it's not, but it just is. Its pacing and its presentation is from another era. And if you want to suck a modern audience member in, you've got Dr. No would not be the way to do it.
Yeah.
So
You can start somewhere else and totally go back and watch Dr. No at a different point.
Yeah, as a curiosity or something.
Yeah.
And that's not. I mean, the funny thing is that's not like I'm a purist, man. But you also have to take into consideration. It's the same reason, like I was talking yesterday, why I think modern writers have a real hard time writing good Star Trek. Is because when they go back and watch classic Star Trek, they cannot. I love this. I read this essay called, basically the title was Kirk Drift. how the reality of James T. Kirk has, through pop culture and all that, and through the years, has drifted away from the way Kirk really is actually portrayed in the show. So when writers and people go back and look at classic Star Trek, they can't see it. They can't see the reality of it. Their mind is too infected by what Kirk's a womanizer, Kirk's this, Kirk's that, and none of that is true. That's the pop culture sense memory of the Mandela effect or whatever. So I feel the same way about Dr. No. And it's not a slight on the movie. It's just, it's a hard one.
Here's what it is.
It's true.
The harsh truth. The next one from Brian Knight. Rank the Flash franchise. Robert and Dieter, simple question. Rank the Flash franchise. Flash Gordon with an E instead of an A, and Flash Gordon. I haven't seen Flash yet, so I would have to put it third behind Flash Gordon and Flash Gordon. I have a lot of free time to come up with these esoteric conundrums, using words to trip up Dieter. So my ranking would be, since I haven't seen the porno movie in forever, but I know about it, it has to come in the last place, then Flash the comic movie, and then of course Flash Gordon because of its cult status. That would be my ranking, Brian. Rob, do you have a ranking of these three movies?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that Flash, Gordon, Sam J. Jones, I'll put that at the top. Yep. Then The Flash with Ezra Miller, and then Flash Gordon. I'll tell you something that's really interesting about Flash Gordon is, so the visual effects for Flash Gordon, the miniature work was done by the great Greg Jean, who worked on GREG JEIN. Greg Jean was a miniature artist who worked on Close Encounters, and he recently passed away at 75. I'd met him over the years. A very, very nice man, very talented man. His collection, you can look it up. Look up the Greg Jean collection at Heritage Auctions. I think it's Heritage Auctions. Is unbelievable. His collection of costumes from everything from 2001 to the original Star Trek, incredible. His collections of stuff that because he quietly was able to collect all of these things throughout the years. It's insane. So if you want to take a look through memory lane, look up the Greg Jean collection. That you can bid on it if you want. If you've got a lot of disposable income, check it out. But Greg Jean, I remember Flash Gordon was, I want to say it first came out on Media, Home Entertainment on VHS, and that was when I was 13.
I remember it being on VHS, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, I had it, and of course, I showed it to everybody. You know, there's a penis spaceship, and it's exactly. You know, and there was all those things like the X-rated Alice in Wonderland, all these 70s. It was, it was funny. It was funny stuff. My sexual awakening, watching all that stuff at 13 and 14, going. Now there was an innocence about it. Now it's not. You're having some girls having sex with their stepfather or stepbrother. Now you watch pornography. There's none of that. It's not fun anymore. I mean, it's fun, but not fun like Flesh Gordon was fun. I mean, Flesh Gordon. It was you got exactly what you expected. It was a more innocent time. Pornography was much more innocent. Barbara Broadcast.
And the last one from Brian Knight, considering we talked a little bit about A24. Is A24 now the home for musicals? Robert and Dieter, I was reading a Collider article on the top 40 movies coming out this fall. Two of these movies caught my attention coming from A24. A re-release of the Talking Heads 1980 Stop Making Sense. Mm-hmm. Can't wait for a Blu-ray or 4K release. Second movie, Dick the Musical, a twist on the Parent Trap. And Birdcage, trailer looks good. If A24 can do with musicals what they do with horror movies, the genre of musicals is back. There is also a new Nicolas Cage movie, which looks intriguing. Check the dates for Guy Fieri and Aristocats, and it appears Aristocats was Disney's response to Guy Fieri. So, Rob, I haven't heard about those two musicals that A24 is planning.
Yeah, I mean,
have you heard something about them?
No, I mean, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, there's no reason. Like, I loved La La Land, and I've been a big fan of when musicals are done well. I mean, I'm a fan of musicals. I'm surprised. I mean, I would love to see more musicals done. I think the time is ripe for making musicals. So yeah, I mean, A24, the people at A24 have impeccable taste. So I would not put anything past A24. They can do it all. So why not?
Exactly. You never know what you get with A24. And the last letter that I got comes from my friend Tim Hens, and he writes, Guten Abend, RMB and DEETS. Just a quick letter regarding the Warner Home Entertainment titles waiting for needing high-definition upgrades and releases. When are we going to get new releases of some of Oliver Stone's finest movies, particularly the ones distributed by Warner Bros., such as JFK, Heaven and Earth, and Any Given Sunday? Considering November this year will be the 60th anniversary of JFK's assassination, I am surprised there has not been any announced plans to release that particular movie, one of my top 10 of all time, in a new 4K transfer. I do not have a 4K setup myself, with only Blu-ray being my main source of physical media collections, but I'm sure a 4K release of the movie for the dedicated collector would go a long way to show off the magnificent Oscar-winning cinematography of JFK by Robert Richardson. Same goes for the other movies mentioned. So come on, George Feldenstein, how about it? As always, keep it up with the fabulous show and continue to fly the flag for dedicated physical media connoisseurs everywhere, from Tim Hens. And Tim, you mentioned yourself in the letter already Heaven and Earth and Any Given Sunday. And Rob, I heard there is some rumblings considering JFK making its way to 4K.
Let's see. All I can say, let's just leave it. Let me just say this. So Shout Factory is releasing Natural Born Killers.
Yeah.
That's an Oliver Stone movie. And that Natural Born Killers, 2 different versions, of that movie. And I've heard that Oliver Stone had a really great experience releasing or working with Shout Factory on that movie. And that's a Warner Brothers movie.
Yeah.
JFK is a Warner Brothers movie. A movie like
Alexander.
Alexander, he made that. That's got like 3 different versions.
Yeah.
Any Given Sunday, which, by the way, I love. So, if a filmmaker has a good experience working with a company like Shout Factory, releasing Warner Brothers movies, and I would have to say that Warner Brothers has been licensing out their films. That Creep Show disc is a banger. That Scream Factory put out looks amazing. So I don't know. It's not a big leap, maybe, to think about, because I love JFK. A guy came out. One of the I read this morning, actually. One of the Secret Service detail on the day of the JFK assassination, who was right there, said that there was a bullet that was found that led to the one bullet theory that was put on the governor's governor, what's his name? I forget his name. Anyway, the Secret Service agent said that he pulled a bullet. He's been silent for 60 years. He pulled a bullet out of the seat, and he took that bullet out, and so it wouldn't get lost, he said he put it on JFK's gurney, but somehow it made it over to the governor's gurney or whatever, which could throw into doubt the single bullet theory and all this. I don't know. I read this today. Check it out. Really interesting. But anyway, I've always loved JFK, whether it's true or not, as an American myth. The idea that we don't know what our government is doing. We don't know. There are forces beyond our control or whatever. I've always liked that, and that's why I liked JFK. So,
Rob, considering Alexander, wasn't there? Help me out. There was the theatrical version. Wasn't there then the director's cut, and then came a final cut?
Yeah, there's 3 versions, and I have that box set. I have that on Blu-ray. That movie, you know what's funny? That movie's kind of a guilty pleasure for me. I can't get past Colin Farrell's hair,
I
but
would think it could look great in 4K. Would do a nice master of it. Would be great. Great.
indeed.
So I'm through with the letters, Rob. Should we show physical media stuff?
Sure, why not?
Or should I? Okay, who goes first, Rob?
Why don't you go first this time?
Okay. Speaking of the Postman Fights Back from Ronnie Yu, let's talk about 4 movies Rob doesn't care about. We go over to Bride of Chucky in 4K, which was directed by Ronnie Yu. So we have transition from the Postman Fights Back to this one. And of course, I have the other ones too, since I love the franchise. I have Seed of Chucky, and even if there's not reversible cover artwork, what I wanted to show, what we as collectors love too, is actually disc artwork, considering Paramount is always looking like you bought a bootleg, but these discs look great considering what they put on it. So we got Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky.
Sure.
Of course. And then the next 2 that, as far as I remember, came immediately to direct-to-video, which was, of course, Curse of Chucky. Wait, let me just flip it here. Great disc artwork. And after Curse came the last one, before we got into the TV series, which was, of course, Cult of Chucky. So 4 Chucky movies in 4K. Speaking of 4K...
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thank you. Speaking of 4K, we always wonder, or Rob at least is shouting again at the clouds, where's my Chinatown and this and that? And those are all great movies, and we sometimes get movies where we have to ask ourselves, do we really need that movie in 4K? But why they are not? I bought Swamp Thing, Rob.
Oh, nice. Have you watched that yet?
Yeah, and I totally had a blast. Locked to the max, I would say. So totally fine with it. But it doesn't have this doesn't come with reversible cover artwork, but it comes with a little poster. But this is the same as the cover artwork itself. So Swamp Thing. Rob, can you tell me how did Wes Craven came to direct that movie?
I do not know. I did work on the TV show though, and Dick Durock. I did paint. There's actually a picture of me that Tony Gardner took from Altarian Studios of me painting Dick Durock's face appliances for the Swamp Thing TV show. I don't know how they picked Wes Craven to direct that film. I don't know. That's a good question.
And hats off to them, Rob. They said, let's start hide the Swamp Thing in the dark, Let's show him in plain sight, Unfortunately, I have not watched the series from 2019, which got great reviews, but it was cancelled after the first season. I heard good things about it. Unfortunately, cancelled, but the Swamp Thing is still back in the fold. The next one, I don't know if you have bought it yourself, Rob. Didn't work for me completely because normally I'm not really good in expecting the murder, but here it was very foreseeable even for me. I bought The Blackening, Rob.
I didn't get 4K. That because I haven't seen it.
4K. So for me, 5.5 out of 10, slightly rotten, because I said, wait, I believe this one is behind it. And I was right, Rob. Strangely enough, I was right. So, The Blackening. So it had some fun moments, but if you give me a slasher, I want a kill, Rob, every 5 to 10 minutes, give me a kill every 5 to 10 minutes. But spoiler alert, they almost all survive, Rob. Perhaps that was the point of the movie, Rob. Yeah. And the next one, then I stop. I don't know if you have heard about this movie, Rob. I heard a lot of stuff on it, and I didn't want it to watch it on Shudder. I wanted to wait till I got it on Blu-ray because of 5.1 sound. I don't know if you heard about this, Rob, over the found footage movie Deadstream.
No, but I do love that cover because it's a riff on the original Evil Dead poster.
Of course, exactly, Rob.
Wow, that cover is awesome. Who put that out?
And this is the German media book, Rob, but you can get a great steelbook from Best Buy in America or just the normal Blu-ray. It is on Shudder if you want to check it out first. It is about an influencer, Rob, who had a great career on YouTube. Then he got canceled because of some stuff he did. And now he wants to go back and he wants to go into a haunted house. So it's a found footage, but very nicely done with great laughs. So this is a movie where actually, because for me it's tough to combine horror with comedy, those two genres that actually diametrically opposed to each other. But this is a great one, Rod. Deadstream. So this is the German media book. And I had to get a replacement, Rob, because when I first got it, I opened it up and there were 2 DVDs in it. It was not a Blu-ray and a DVD. There were 2 DVDs, so I had to get a new one. It says here, Rob, found footage, aber geil, which means found footage extremely cool.
Nice.
And it's only just shy under 90 minutes. It is on Shudder. Somebody wants to check it out, but it is available in the States as a great steelbook from Best Buy and as a normal Blu-ray, which comes then with this kind of artwork. Deadstream, and I believe in the first 5 minutes I had easily 5 or 6 great laughs when he says, I'm not that kind of not kind of big into sponsorships, and then you see advertising for 50 t-shirts of his channel. Great stuff if you're into, especially in our space, the YouTube space. This is a great one. Deadstream. Recommendation from myself. So this was the second part of my haul.
Okay. Well, I've got more. You've got a third part of your haul too, then, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, so okay. Well, first of all, I did get Enter the Dragon.
Ooh, nice.
I got the 4K of Enter the Dragon. It's great. The cover great. Hey, this is the kind of thing that Warner Brothers should have been releasing all year long. There should have been one of these every week with this 100th anniversary cover.
Exactly. I love that.
Look what I got from Japan, bro.
Ooh. Oh, nice.
So this is the Guardians of the Galaxy Japanese disc, and as we all know, it does have a little booklet of like swag and stuff in here, but this, of course, has the 4K disc, which was got Rocket on there. But it also has because it's the only way to get it, the 3D version. And what's great is, this movie plays with 3D a lot. You have things coming over the image and stuff. So
like the first one too, Rob. The first one
like
did that
the
too.
first one too. So this is they famously made lots of different versions of this. I think this was $80.
Yeah, me too.
Some ridiculously expensive.
Shh, Rob. Shh.
I know. I don't tell Elizabeth. How much did you pay for that? They're only like $20, right? Yes, they're $20. No, I did get this from Japan because it's the only way to get the 3D discs. Yeah. So hey, got it. I also got this. Disc. Look at this. It's a concert disc, Hollywood High, Duran Duran. It's a feature-length docu-concert film, and it brings to life Duran Duran's deep and lasting relationship with Los Angeles through exclusive new interviews, behind-the-scenes video, and unseen archival footage. So there you go.
Is that the steelbook, Rob? That looks
No. But it is a slipcase. Tiny little slipcase. Yeah, Digipack.
Digipack.
It does have a little poster in it, and I'll tell you a funny thing. Nice. So when I moved to LA in 1988. God damn, I've been here a long time. So in 1988, Duran Duran's album Big Thing came out that had songs like All She Wants Is and things like that. It was like the Acid House version. They played a free concert in the Capitol Records parking lot.
Ooh.
And I went to the Capitol Records parking lot, and
At Great Capitol Records Tower, Rob.
Yeah,
in that, from Fort Valley.
Yes.
Awesome,
And they played there, and I ran into I was watching the concert. I actually was shooting a little bit of stuff on Super 8 film, and like Do You Believe in Shame, which is a song that they used in Tequila Sunrise, which I still love. Where's that 4K? Why didn't Warner Brothers put Tequila Sunrise out in 4K? Don't know. Never will, but that's a bummer. But so, and while I was there, my friend Cynthia Matsky, who I went to high school with, I didn't even know she was in LA. She comes and like jumps on my back. She goes, "What are you doing here?" And we're in the middle of this con. I'm like, "Oh my god!" So, yeah, this was in October of 1988. So that was like 35 years ago. So I had to get this. So which was cool, you know. Then got some good stuff from Indicator. You know, I love my lesbian vampire movies. And you know, there's Daughters of Darkness. There's upscale lesbian vampire movies, and then there's kind of B-level lesbian vampire movies, or call them erotic. Jean Rollin, the French director, 2 more of his films came out from Indicator. These beautiful packages, chock full. Indicator, a great company. So they've got their little. These I keep because it's got the number. Like this one. This is 4,860 out of 6,000. But I love these Indicator releases, that matte finish, and you've got the movies in 4K, and you know they've got like the French releases and a lot of special features in here, and it's pretty great. These are pretty great. So
isn't it easier, Rob, to do the underslip inside the package? Somehow?
Yeah, you can do. That's what I do. Because you can't. Yeah. It's loose, so that's what I do. But then, really great books here, really extensive. I mean, Indicator again. Look, there's nudity. Indicator does a really, really phenomenal job. Look, there's more nudity. But can't do it. I don't want to get demonetized. But these are great releases, and they're in there's going to be more in October. My favorite Jean Rollin movie is Fascination. Actually, my favorite is a zombie movie, is The Living Dead Girl, which they haven't announced yet. So I hope that they do that. I hope they put it out. So this is the first one that came out, and they're releasing them in sets of 2. So we got this. That's The Night of the Hunted, which is different than than his regular fare. But then we're back with Rape of the Vampire.
Ooh, that looks cool.
I know, right? These covers are dope. Yeah. They're so gorgeous.
It looks heavy, like a heavy metal cover.
Oh yeah. So I mean, look. Yes, look at that. Look at that. Rape of the Vampire. And again, Indicator. I never would. The demonic loves of the Queen of the Vampires. So look at this cover.
Ooh.
I mean, come on. How do you?
Very cool.
Irene Jobson salivating. I can tell. And again, another great. These books are so extensive. They do such a great job. And you can see our man Jean working. But these are. I live for these things, and to get these in 4K. Again, I was buying these on Redemption. The label Redemption was putting these out originally.
Yeah.
And then I actually bought The Living Dead Girl on Laserdisc from, I want to say, Tim Lucas and Video Watchdog. It was really funny because I remember going to my friend Steve Melching's house, and he had a friend of his, and we were watching, and he was convinced that it was either shot on video and I said, no, it's just because it's PAL. It's running at a different frame rate. So, but yeah, it's great to have these, and in such lovingly curated packages, because everyone needs lesbian vampire movies in their lives. It makes your life better. It really does. And if you're going to run into undead girls, why not have them be lesbians too? So Indicator, God bless you. And this one is 3,722 out of 6. And by the way, I want to point something out though. These do not come with the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray versions, they make Blu-ray versions, they look exactly the same,
Yeah.
but they are not, they did not, you have to get one or the other. So if you buy the 4K versions, be sure and know that they don't have the Blu-ray versions in them. So that is definitely something that you need to be mindful of. Now, I got a box from Kino Lorber. Because Kino Lorber is the unofficial sponsor of this. Now, this is first of all, Kino Lorber has been I don't presume to understand Kino Lorber's business model. I don't know. They release so much stuff.
It's something for everyone.
But they release so much stuff, and God bless them because they're releasing. So and they've been releasing DVDs too. And I'm like, do I want? But everything that they've released, like Only in Theaters, the documentary, they've been sending me some great. I haven't even watched this yet. Here's a documentary on Joyce Carol Oates. I love Joyce Carol Oates. I didn't know that they made this documentary, but A Body in the Sacrifice of Mind. This played at the Telluride Film Festival, but they're putting this stuff out. So I'm happy. This is stuff I probably would never have bought, but Kino Lorber's sending it to me, and I'm really happy to have it. And this is really interesting. Here is a documentary, Desperate Souls, Dark City, and the Legend of Midnight Cowboy. Again, this was a Telluride. This is a documentary in the making of the movie Midnight Cowboy.
Okay.
From '69. Can't wait to see that. Now, and then this documentary, the Elephant Six Recording Company. Now, this is a documentary that 20 years ago, 25 years ago, there were bands, 90s rock, 90s like indie rock, alternative rock, the Olivia Tremor Control, the Apples in Stereo, Neutral Milk Hotel. I did not know that these bands, and I even put some music by Olivia Tremor Control and the Apples in Stereo in a movie I was editing called Dean Quixote. I did not know that around 1985, a group of Louisiana high schoolers began experimenting with whatever random instruments and gear they could find. And influenced by psychedelia, and with little to distract them, they birthed a musical revolution. I didn't know that these bands that an old friend of mine, Mary Forrest, played a lot of or had a lot of on our playlists and stuff, I didn't know that's where they came from. So when I read that that's what this documentary was, I'm like, this is dope. So again, the three documentaries that Kino Lorber sent me, like, I don't even know, I don't even see these on lists of stuff that's coming out because I'm only looking at Blu-ray and 4K releases. But these are incredible documentaries. Kino Lorber has a commitment to putting out a lot of documentaries. I don't know how they make it work financially, but hey. Now, another thing they put out was, do you remember the Japanese movie One Cut of the Dead?
Yeah, of course.
Well, the French, there's a French remake of One Cut of the Dead.
Yeah, I told you about it.
And you told me about it. And look what they sent me.
Yeah.
Final cut. But you weren't a big...
It features our girl from Revenge, Rob.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that doesn't make the movie better.
I know. But anyway, I'm so happy to get... Now, this is a movie, dude, I got to tell you, I'm never going to watch this. Maybe I should send it to you in your mythical package I'm going to send you. The Barbarian Brothers in Double Trouble. Yeah, that's a big negatory from me, good buddy.
Yeah.
Negatory from me. Now, this is really interesting. This is a movie that stars Jacqueline...
That's actually more a movie that I would expect from Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah, I know. But maybe I should just send that to you. So Double Trouble, there you go. Now, this is something I've never heard of. The First Time with Jacqueline Bisset. And on the cover of this, funny, nobody thinks about a boy when they say the word virgin. And apparently, this is a comedy about three high school students who run afoul of Jacqueline Bisset, and they think she's a prostitute, but she's really not. It takes place in Canada. It's a comedy. And it was co-written by one of the writers of Clint Eastwood's Play Misty for Me, which Kino Lorber is going to release in 4K. So, hey, it's Kino Lorber, man, I'm telling you. So this is from 1969. I've never seen this before. This is an MGM comedy. I'll watch it. And then also, this is a movie called Between Two Worlds with Juliette Binoche, and this is about working women in Paris, and it's based on a novel. Haven't seen it, but everything again. Kino Lorber's been sending me some French films, and they're all good. So happy to have all this stuff. Thank you, Kino Lorber. I very much appreciate you. I mean, I just get these random boxes in the mail, and it's like getting manna from heaven. So thanks, Kino Lorber. I very much appreciate you for doing that. So thank you.
International stuff.
Yeah.
For me, Rob, it's just the French remake is really a one-to-one thing, considering One Cut of the Dead, you know? They didn't add anything new to it. So this is why the movie for me was actually useless.
Yeah.
If you're just doing a one-to-one remake of the original one, you know?
And I love the original.
Yeah, me too.
I've just waited. Wait, I got two things
left.
Yeah,
me too, Rob, but I would say let's do the news perhaps first, or some super chats before we delve into the ones we want to show.
Do you have the live chat going? Are you doing a live chat?
Yeah, I want to do it.
Okay, I was going to ask. I was going to ask you to do the live chat so I could have a little bit of a break.
You can. Yeah, you can relieve yourself, Rob.
I'm going to go relieve myself. Drinking all this water, man. So if you could do the live chat, and I will be right back.
Yeah, I make that. Yeah, I make that for you. So,
thanks, buddy.
Previously on Let's Get Physical Media, the Alex Sorber, is Mutant Ghost Warrior better than Oppenheimer? Unfortunately, Alex Sorber, I still can't tell you that. I still haven't watched Mutant Ghost Warrior, but I will get back to you. I'm saving that super chat until I can give you an answer. Blazing Asian. It's still crazy to me how well Barbie did. To me, too, Blazing Asian. Unbelievable. Hunter Becknell, I thought Ahsoka was fine. It was a nice continuation of Rebels. I don't get the hate. Not hate. Let's say the last episode, The Force, was really nice. There's still hope. Let's see how we resolve the Anakin issue. The last one was really nice, so perhaps it will get uptick. The hate is simply more, Hunter Becknell, that they expected you to have seen Rebels, That's mostly the problem with the show, or one of the problems. How's the Father? Oh no, they're going to do this movie duo mashup every week now, aren't they? Speaking of Barbenheimer. And I think they tried to do it with some of the other movies. Wasn't there something that they would try with Saw or something like that? But I think this was really a one-time deal. Ubiquitous. I was missing one DVD from my Battlestar Galactica series. Well, I don't have it. I promise. I don't have your DVD. How's the Father? Remember when movies were just formatted to fit your screen? Yes, I remember that. Considering when I watched my first movies in English on VHS NTSC tapes, and considering we had a square TV back then, 4:3, and I had no knowledge of how movies are shot with the framing rate, I was always happy when those big bars got away. I still remember they had a great transition considering speed. You had got the opening credits, and then you had the elevator shaft, and then the black bars faded, and it was great that I was missing a lot of footage from the right and left side. Didn't know that back then. Formatted to fit your screen. A Word in Pyjamas, our science lady. Burnett, this is the only show I watch live because it's on Sunday when I am usually having tea. Nice to know. Condor 007, Crayman looks to be getting a sequel. Exactly, because Rob bashed the movie, no one remembers it. And then I forgot it what you said in the live chat. Yeah, it will get a sequel at some point, I believe. Secular Monk, Disney needs to release some of that Fox catalog in 4K. Fight Club, anyone? Yeah, this is actually only one of probably many titles that we all want to get. Considering Rob showed Staying Alive 14 days ago, if you remember. Adventure Square. Oh, wow. We're trading Trash Panda status this week, which I totally love. And how Father says, how does that have a 0 score, though? I have no idea. But it is, as Rob said, a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. Adventure Square. The horse is a good actor in Let It Ride, or I hope he meant Ride On, with Jackie Chan, which I watched. Really not nice movie. Not the best Jackie Chan. 6 out of 10. It's watchable. And like you said, Adventure Square, the horse is actually stealing the show in Ride On. Admiral considering Fast 10. Did I know? Yeah, but I bought it. And Bloodhound said, I bought it because I have the other 9. Exactly. Secular Monk. The Fast franchise has jumped the shark. It did it 2 movies ago. And Vegas Robocop, my friend, says, as a car guy, I can tell you they all suck. Just fun. Exactly. Charlie the Unicorn. When DEETS says it is not good, yikes. And Alpenthal continues, then it's really not good at all. Okay. At least there's some metric to my takes on them. Tommy Ricknell, Mission Impossible 2 have become my fave in the series. Love Zimmer soundtrack and the cinematography. Unlimited Power, Mac 2 was fun. I want a Mac 3. I'm glutton for punishment. But Mac 2 was not really punishment. Okay. Loved it too. And I wouldn't say no to Mac 3. Unfortunately, I forgot to ask Rob how is the box office considering Mac 3. Because I think if it has some...
It's made some good money.
Staying power, if it has some staying power left, I think it will end up in a profitable, at least some sort of profitable ending. Charlie the Unicorn. Rob talks about bitrates like cocaine quality. Exactly.
Hey, man, the higher the content, the better the high. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Tired of all this nose garbage.
Yeah. And this is one point I actually let your back, Rob. I want to with you to talk about. Bill Barkley, by the way, I see the air cut is actually happening. Rob, considering the strike now, there's no new stuff getting produced. Could we have a perhaps similar situation with the COVID outbreak, which helped a little considering the Snyder cut? Could we see the air cut come to fruition considering new products?
Maybe. I mean, the thing about
We're talking about Suicide Squad people. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing about the air cut. Again, as we know, as I said from the very beginning, and people just still don't understand this, there was no, as Zack Snyder himself said, the only Snyder cut that existed was a black and white cut of his movie on his laptop. They spent like $75 million to finish that movie. Now, the air cut, it really depends. Is it further along? Like, did they finish the movie and then decide to recut it? I mean, I hated that film. Of all the movies that I've ever seen in my life, that movie, I couldn't deal with the editing. The editing is absolutely atrocious. It's cut to shit. I mean, none of it makes any sense. And it was cut by a trailer company. And I would actually love to see an air cut. It just depends on what kind of condition it is. They're not going to spend $75 million, but I would imagine more of it's finished than isn't. So it really depends on whether or not the movie's releasable and how much money they would have to spend. The problem is Warner Brothers, all the stock prices are down. I mean, Disney stock prices in the toilet. I don't know where Warner Brothers is at. Paramount's, all these companies are really not doing well. And so it's hard for me to say, but if it didn't cost a lot of money and they can put it out and they figured they could make some money on it or put it on HBO Max or something, they can look at the metrics for the Snyder Cut and go, okay, well, did this money,
especially the physical media sales, Rob, for Justice League.
Absolutely. And if they see that there's money to be made, they'll do it.
Yeah. Especially if the air cut is that much better than the original.
I don't think it could be any worse. So
fingers crossed. Kondo 007, what's your most prized poster, Rob? And do you have any UK quads?
Oh yeah. Well, okay, I had a monster. I had a huge poster collection that I sold. I sold to the third floor, and it was, and I sold actually some of my posters to Steven Spielberg through a broker. But I had an original Italian 4-sheet of Bicycle Thieves, and I had an original Italian 4-sheet of La Dolce Vita, and I had an original Fistful of Dollars original. So all my big, really expensive posters I got rid of because I needed the money to pay for my Avid and stuff, and business was in the mid-aughts. I was in a difficult place because of a lawsuit over Cody Banks. But so I got rid of them all, unfortunately. But I had posters like the Italian a lot. It was great. In terms of British quads, the stuff that I still have, I have like a British quad of Theater of Blood.
Help me, Rob. What is a quad exactly?
Oh, so American movie posters are like this. Imagine a British quad is turned over, so it's rectangular like that. So instead, it's horizontal as opposed to
CinemaScope, Rob.
It's CinemaScope. It's scope. So I have a couple of British quads. I have a British quad for Cronenberg's first movie, Shivers. They Came From Within, which I should get these framed. And then I have a British quad for Theater of Blood, the Vincent Price movie. Those are the two British quads that I have left. But I still have like Italian posters for Antonioni's Blow Up that I should get framed. I have what's called a 24 sheet, which is a billboard for Ken Russell's The Devils. So a 24 sheet. So back in the day, they couldn't print all of these as one pieces. So they would print multiple pieces. Like I have a 6 sheet. A 6 sheet is an 81-inch by 81-inch poster. So I have a 6 sheet of A Clockwork Orange that's in 3 pieces or 4 pieces. So what you do is you have those mounted on linen. You have a museum quality mounted on linen and frame it. I have an original Italian Dr. Strangelove poster. I have a gorgeous Italian original Peeping Tom poster. So I've still got some good pieces left, but most of my the thing is, what do you do with posters that are that big? Like I had this entire the posters that I most regret selling. So if anyone who works at the visual effects, so the Previs company, the third floor, which works on all the major effects movies that are made in Hollywood, they have all my posters. And the 2 posters that I would love to get back from them, and I've often thought of calling them up going, can I get these back from you? So if anyone out there works at the third floor, the 2 posters that I would like to get back from the third floor that they have are my Italian 4 sheets of Dawn of the Dead and Mario Bava's Black Sunday, a.k.a. the posters for Mask of the Demon. Those are the 2 posters that I most regret giving up. And I would do anything to get those posters back. If I called them, they might give them back to me. I've just never done that. They did buy them for me, so I'd have to buy them back. But they have things like they have my Zardoz poster. I had The Great Escape and The Dirty Dozen, and they have all that stuff. I had all the Bond posters. What are you gonna do? But I still have my Dr. No, 1 sheet. I mean, it just gets to the point where when you're collecting all this stuff, I just saw that Joe Dante is on eBay. Yeah. He's putting up a lot of his posters for sale. And it's really interesting. The poster market, I am pontificating, people are like, what are you talking about? But I only was interested, there's a lot of people that collect, say, Mondo posters. I was never interested in that. I was only ever interested in original movie posters. And what's happened and I've got some interest, I still have my original Blade Runner, and I've got the really rare Aliens 1 sheet with Sigourney Weaver holding Newt, and she's got the flamethrower, and it says, "This time it's war." Exactly. That was not really used. They pulled that from release because they didn't like the idea of a kid and I don't know, whatever. But I have that poster.
Yeah, I remembered it.
I've got a Lord of the Rings, teaser poster where Frodo has the ring. I had two. I had the one where Frodo's looking down at the ring, and they did another one where Frodo's looking up. I gave the one where he's looking down to my friend Dave Hargrove. But it's like, and I gave my original Evil Dead one sheet to Dave Parker. It just gets to the point where, if you can't, what's the point of having a poster collection if you can't have them hanging up? And I've never hung up I've never hung up my Doctor Strangelove. Why not? In our media room, I got Dr. No. I've got my Polish To Live and Die in L.A. And then I have the Japanese. It's not the original, but it was done. That poster that was done by I can't even pronounce her name, but the costume designer for Dracula. She did that artwork for. That's hanging up. It's a giant poster. The frame alone's $2,500, but that's hanging up in our media room too. And it's and I've got other posters. Like I've got a Czechoslovakian poster for Close Encounters.
And the new ones that George got for you from the archives.
Well, George got me. He got me an original insert and an original half sheet for Wild Wild Planet, which I'm going to get those framed and put them up probably in here.
Nice.
And those I don't have to get mounted because they're on heavy cardstock.
Yeah. And strangely enough, they survived. They survived over time.
Yeah, they're in great shape.
So
brand new.
This was the question about your posters. RJ McReady, if that's shine in the jar, I see you hold your liquor well. Connor, what are the profit margin like for physical media? For example, these Disney Plus shows Disney are releasing. Connor, I can tell you what the profit margin is. Rob, do you know any profit margin?
Well, I mean,
how much do you earn?
So Disney,
perhaps back from a DVD.
I mean, here's the thing. Obviously, you have to. Let's just say the profit margin's pretty huge, because the programming's already finished. You have to author the disc, so you have to basically, since they're releasing them in 4K, a 4K disc has to be authored. It's like a computer program. You take all the different things on it, and you have to make a master that can be replicated, but it can be replicated pretty easily. So it's the cost of that, which, it'll take somebody a couple of days probably to make the disc. Then you have to make the steel books, whatever the manufacturing is. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, all in, you're spending, I don't know, $6 or something to make the packaging and the whatever it is. Even make it easier, $10. That's your wholesale price. So that's what they sell for, and then they sell for.
I believe from the Mandalorian is about $45.
They're making a fortune. They're making a fortune.
Yeah.
They're making a fortune.
Yeah.
But it depends on how many they sell. So if they're selling it for $45, right? How many are they going to sell? If they sell 10,000 for $45, what's that? $450,000?
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good chunk of change. But for Disney, they're going, okay, there's one title. I mean, are they going to sell 10,000? Is there going to be 10,000 people worldwide that buy The Mandalorian? It really depends on how many things. So if they were to sell 10,
they dip their toes in it.
Yeah. So if they were to sell 10,000, and I don't know if they would. I mean, I don't know what the sales figures are, but 10,000 would be. Let's just say that was the number. And they're selling it for 45. Their manufacturing costs, let's just call it total 10. So their profit margin would be $35. So they're bringing in $35 times 10,000, so 350,000, and they do that. They're doing that with WandaVision. They're doing that with Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2, and they're doing that with Loki. So I mean, they could bring in, say, $1 million for those titles, all those titles. The question is, when you look at Disney and how much money, and we'll get to it because it's part of the news, how much money are they going to really make? Like, what does $1 million mean to Disney? Not
really much.
And this is why. So when you think about it, this is why the studios aren't so interested in perpetuating physical media, because from their perspective, they're not making that much money. especially offering a premium, because the big box retailers like Walmart, they don't want a product that's $45. They're not going to sell steelbooks of Star Wars for $45. They're going to be able to sell them for cheap. They can have them as loss leaders or something. So it's got to be, and that's why physical media is dying. And how many people are going to buy these things. And every year it goes down by 25-30% of the people that buy physical media. And it's just inevitable. I mean, we're going to have physical media. The PlayStation 5, we've said, and the Xbox X have extended the life of discs for a while. But I would imagine that by the end of this decade, the 2020s, there won't be physical media anymore. I mean, there might be niche companies, but all the good stuff will be released. Like what will there? I mean, honestly, a company like Second Sight, what are they going to release that hasn't been already released by other people? And the thing about like Second Sight is they're a niche company that is releasing stuff that's already been released now.
Yeah.
I mean, all their beautiful box set of The Changeling. I mean, Severin released the Blu-ray, then they released their 4K, and then Second Sight followed that up. Now, the Second Sight release is the best release, but how long can Second Sight run this business model? I mean, luckily, it's kind of a bummer. Like the deal that they made, they had to allow other people to release The Hitcher first. From what I understand, Second Sight's work, and how many video companies tweet out pictures of their color timing sessions and Second Sight does that, but they have to allow the company that owns the movie to release the film before they do. So they don't even get an exclusive release to the collector's market. Now we fanatics will always go for that Second Sight title. But we sometimes don't even know that they're putting it out. We can't know yet. They're not allowed to even announce that they're releasing something until it's already come out, like Crimes of the Future, which we'll talk about in a minute. Anyway, what was I saying?
Considering the profit margins. Tim Hens, DEETS like the shiny stuff. You all know that, Tim. Eucalyptus, Tremors is my all-time favorite movie, and I have no problems with that.
And Arrow's 4K is beautiful.
Yeah, totally. I think the Barbarella is two different sets, one with the original artwork and one with the new one. I don't think they come with both. That's what I was thinking too, considering the Barbarella. One has the original, one has the new artwork.
But then they'll have the reversible cover.
Yeah.
Because to me, what I like when Arrow does a new cover, but then they give you the original artwork on the front, so you can choose to buy whichever one you want. Because they did that with Videodrome. They had they had the original and they had the new artwork.
Altmetall, Burn Witch Burn. Is this the new one with Rachel Zegler? Just saying. Charlie the Unicorn.
It's funny.
It's funny.
It's funny.
That's why I clipped it out, Rob. Charlie the Unicorn. Is this worldwide sales or US only? Rob, the charts that you always present is US, I would suspect. Just US market. Domestic market. Yeah. Tina Gassman. Do you prefer to buy your movies new or do you buy used too? Well, Tina, I really not buying used ones, perhaps 0.01%, because we like to unwrap the new stuff.
And you want everything in pristine condition.
Yeah. If possible. A Geek of One. High Tension is a film which doesn't hold up to repeated viewings for me. And Adventure Square, High Tension, man. I had strong negative reactions to that one. I still love it. And Rob, it has a great new documentary that I watched, which goes 90 minutes, and it is about the four big ones. High Tension, Frontiers, Martyrs, and Inside the French Revolution. And it even has directors like Corinne Fauché, who did Revenge. I
wonder if that's on the Second Sight Frontiers disc. I don't know.
That could be.
I didn't know that. I gotta watch that. I'd love to watch that documentary.
Yeah. So really nice documentary with high attention, and I still love the movie. Secular Monk. Is the 3D of Guardians 3 only outside the US? It's not only outside the US. It's outside every market except for Rob.
Japan.
Japan. That's why I brought it out. I didn't know you would have a 2 to
Yeah,
show.
no, I got that. I mean, it's really unfortunate. I mean, that's the case with a lot of 3D discs. The Japanese are the only people, or unless the the Chinese market, they still have 3D stuff. I mean, it's really unfortunate because home 3D is really impressive, and you can still get certain projectors now that 3D works, but like on a 65-inch plasma, old plasma, which is I'm running my Panasonic plasma. It's 10 years old, but it's still I bought the last plasma. It's the last Panasonic 65-inch plasma that used Pioneer Kuro technology, their black technology, their black levels and stuff. That it looks incredible. It still looks incredible. And I wish, like, my OLED, I've tweaked my OLED, but as my friend Clark von Trotha might tell you, I've over-cranked the brightness. I have the brightness in my OLED as high as it'll go, but I've tweaked the picture to be, I think, the best it can be. Now, I could bring the picture down a little bit, but I love the way it's at right now. Although Clark, he sets up home theaters for a living, he immediately knows. He's going, hey, you got your brightness.
No, when you got the experts in, everyone has their favorite.
Yeah, but I just kept it because, I spent a long time tweaking this. I love doing that. I spent a long time tweaking for the room that it's in. But yeah, it's a bummer that 3D. I don't know what my 3D discs, if that plasma burns out, are useless. All my Marvel, the 3D stuff. I have a lot of 3D discs. Like How to Train Your Dragon. That's great 3D.
Perhaps, Rob, we will at one point get the virtual reality classes from Sony and watch the 3D.
You know what's really interesting? I was thinking about that with Apple. The Apple glasses that maybe they can use because they could use that technology and recreate 3D movies, and that might suddenly bring the demand for 3D films right back up. But I don't know if they're going to be doing that, because I would love it if those glasses, somehow they could make them active 3D, because that would be dope. Suddenly it would make 3D for the home viable again. Come on, Apple. Because home 3D is awesome.
Yeah. And what I didn't understand, Rob, why could you don't include it, the 3D option, at least in one model of your whole line? It doesn't have to be every TV, but one line of your.
It's because it never caught on, and again, I really blame here. Do you know why 3D died? I'm convinced of this. Here's the Rob Burnett theory of the death of 3D. 3D died in the United States because most 3D presentations were terrible, and it's because 3D, to keep it simple, the light when you're watching 3D in theaters is cut in half, unless you have the brightness up, so all the 3D look like dark sludge, because none of the theaters would tweak out and make sure that you were watching something at the optimal, because they keep the bulbs dimmed. So most of the 3D that we saw in this country, unless it was going to be IMAX and for Avatar, a lot of things that were great, the 3D was great. It looked terrible. Everyone went in and they were seeing the worst presentation. The theater owners never got together and said, okay, if we want to charge premium, and people were paying premiums to see 3D that was terrible. For the most part, the 3D that people saw in theaters in this country was really, really bad. And unless
first conversions were not good.
They're terrible. And unless you went and saw something in an IMAX thing like Avatar, which is it was amazing. It was amazing to see it again. Like, oh, I forgot how good 3D could look when you're watching Way of Water in 3D. It looks amazing. Yeah. They killed it. They killed it because the presentation was terrible. Terrible. And that was all on the theater owners, because they would, you can't do both. You can't have great 3D without providing a premium experience where you need to make sure that your theaters are providing an optimal, like the Dolby theaters that AMC put in. You've got to make sure that your presentation's optimal, and they didn't. That was all on the theater owners. They killed 3D.
And considering the TVs, Rob, they were a little bit, from my perspective, responsible too, because they put out 3Ds. Oh, you can watch everything in 3D just with a click of a button.
Oh, that was terrible too.
Yeah.
That was so, yes, everyone's to blame.
Exactly. So, Charlie the Unicorn, yeah.
Howard Jones should do a song about 3D that instead of no one is to blame, everyone is to blame.
Charlie the Unicorn, is this Guardians of the Galaxy 3 from Japan? Yes, it is. Gordon Waddell, does Turbine Germany ship to the USA? Yes, Gordon, they ship to the USA. Altmetall, in Japan, they have also really great packages. I remember my Cochern special edition, and of course, Kill Bill and Grindhouse. Altmetall, I still have that Cochern DVD special edition. John Kibola at the Burnettwork. Hey, Rob, love the show. Can you post links to the 4K player you have and the region-free one that you use? The problem, John, you can post in the comments links to something to buy. It will get immediately erased, considering YouTube. Rob, can you give him some
I can
general help?
Yeah, I mean, I can post the links in here. Let me. You know what? I'll tell you which one that I have. Yeah. I don't think that I have a Sony. I have a Sony multi-region player that I don't think is available anymore from Amazon. But the one I'm running here. Hang on, player. Let's see. I can tell you what I'm running a Panasonic 4K player that I got from Amazon. It's like $500, or it was $500.
Yeah.
And I'm looking to see if I can find it. Well, here's a good one. A Sony region-free UBP X800M2 4K player. It's region-free. It's $400.
Yeah.
That's kind of. I'm looking for the. See, all these players, they're all like $150, $200. The problem with that is that they'll break. I just don't. Oh, this is
plastic bombers.
This is probably the one. I think this is the one that I have. Okay, it's Panasonic. It has Dolby Vision. It's it's a streaming. They have it on Amazon. It's $418. Panasonic streaming 4K Blu-ray player with Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus Ultra HD premium video playback. It doesn't. Oh, here's the number. DP-UB820. So it's DP-UB820-K. Now that is not. I don't know if that's the exact model that I'm running.
Yeah.
The one that I really want, and I'm probably going to buy this and put it away. I keep looking at it. It's $1,000. It's the Panasonic DP UB900P 1K reference class 4K Ultra HD player with Dolby Vision and HDR10. Because if you look at this, there's not many players available, and that's fucking scary. You know, you're looking at, and I'm like, I want to buy like 2 or 3. Not that I would have an extra $1,000, but that's what I want to do, is I want to buy a couple of those players and put them away for a rainy day. Because this is something that we're all going to have to think about. All physical media fans, like I look at it this way, I'll be lucky if I live on this planet, and I'm just being practical, for 25 more years. That's 10 years less than I've lived in Los Angeles. So let's say I live for 25 more years. I figure 2 players...
should get you to the finish line.
Yeah, because right now, so I've got so in my media room, I've got a PlayStation 5, an Xbox X, the Sony, the little Sony multi-region player that is now it's only set to play multi-region discs. It will never go back. I will never reset it back to domestic. And then I've got my Panasonic that I'm running the $500 one that plays domestic discs, Region A, and whatever 4Ks. So that's the thing. But I feel like I need to go buy, and the same is true. I should go buy another major multi-region player as well, just to have them.
Just
to have them, because it's like, why not? I mean, but this, you have to think this way, because what good is a physical media, like thousands of discs, if you have nothing to play them on? It's rendered, moot.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, that's who's making players now, and how long are they going to make them for? So
who knows?
Or just buy a lot of cheap ass players, as long as they've got. So the thing about Dolby Vision and the thing about HDR10, this is another thing about 4K that people need to know. What you're getting with HDR10 Plus, and especially with Dolby Vision, is a Dolby Vision disc is constantly giving new metadata to your player, and which is going out to your TV. So if it's connected to a TV that has Dolby Vision or HDR10, the disc, each scene is changing its metadata, so the TV is giving you the optimum for each different scene. So the metadata is changing within scene to scene to scene. So that's why Dolby Vision. And a lot of people, like if you look at the there's a cinematographer that doesn't see the need for any of this, and I get that, I understand that, but I still think for the home, I do love Dolby Vision. I do think it's great. Although, you go back and you watch, I've been watching Christopher Nolan's movies, and they don't have the old Christopher Nolan 4K discs, and Warner Brothers don't have Dolby Vision. They still look great. I think they're HDR10, which also changes. But hey,
Yeah. So, John, just browse through the players that are available. I certainly think you will find something. Speaking of, Rob has to sit through the live chat. Played out. Chat. Best part. Played out. Have to sit through a bunch of crap to get to the chats. Guy Newbie. I need a German digibook of Ian Lake. Nobody holds you back, Guy. Just order it from, that.
But I love the what you gave me. The Eden Lake that comes in the big VHS box. Yeah. That's the greatest thing ever.
Box, Tim Hens, DEETS kept his word, breeze through that live chat recap. Not finished. Some left. Joey Johnson, Staying Alive was a box office hit. 127 million on a 22 million budget. Yes, I'm pretty far behind on today's stream. He said it was at least some of a decent hit. Robert Thomas Watson, the Spice Diver remix of Dune is excellent, closer to what the film should have been released as. B-Depp wants to know, what does DEETS say at the end, when I say, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören. B-Depp wants to know, what do I say there, Rob?
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. That is the tagline of the Burnettwork channel.
Yeah.
And where else could you hear that in German? Right here.
And the last one, considering I couldn't do last week since I had night shift. Alex Sauber, Dieter, quit that shop. I can't, Alex. I need money to buy and show you some discs. Rob, this was the live chat. We're through.
By the way, I just want to point out that Tango Shalom has been dubbed in German.
Ooh, as always, Rob. As always.
So just there.
The German and their dubbing.
So before we get into
where do we go?
Let's there's some super chats to address.
Right.
There's some good ones actually, and I was going to bring this up as part of the news, but since it's part of the super chats, I will address it then. Let me go back and see. James Evan Travis Hinton. I wonder if you're related to S.E. Hinton. Says, cheers, Rob and DEETS. Happy birthday to you, Rob. Exploit free dessert whenever it's available. Okay. I understand why people think it's my birthday. It was Star Trek's birthday on Friday, or on the 8th, on Friday. So it was Star Trek Day. It was not my birthday. My birthday, for those of you who would not want to know, is May 15th. May 15th. But thank you, James. I appreciate that. And I do exploit free dessert whenever possible. Kids Hall State says, thoughts on Apt Pupil or Brad Renfro in general? Well, of course, my buddy Brian Singer directed Apt Pupil. That is from Stephen King's different seasons. That also, The Body, which became Stand By Me, and Rita Hayworth in Shawshank Redemption became The Shawshank Redemption. I liked Apt Pupil. I think Apt Pupil's a pretty good adaptation of the story. I thought Brad Renfro was good in it.
The first movie from Brian?
No. It was the third movie from Brian.
Third movie. Okay.
Yeah. Public Access was the first. Actually, he made a short called Lion's Den. Then he made Public Access. Then he made Usual Suspects. And Apt Pupil followed up Usual Suspects.
Oh.
So I like it. I mean, I wanted to do the special features for Apt Pupil, but I couldn't get Sony interested. So it's too bad. I wrote a proposal for that. So, yeah. Undead 6 says, but whose fault is that really, Rob? I was 10 when I saw Jurassic Park in the cinema, and yet I love Dr. No along with Jason and the Argonauts to death. Well, yeah, because you're a cineast. You watch this show. You collect physical media. The question is, I mean, I'm not saying, when I say this, I'm not saying that it's not you. I'm talking about the general population of people that watch movies for entertainment. There's a lot of people that are very casual about movie watching, and like if you're a cineast and you love all this stuff, but I love Jason the Argonauts too. But there's a lot of people I know for a fact that there's a lot of people who are say 20 years old that I couldn't get to go back and expect them to watch Jason the Argonauts. Hell, they won't even watch movies from the 80s. You know, so, but yeah, I mean, but that's why you're here, because you're one of us. One of us. Guy Newby says, I watched The Exorcist in Atmos last night on iTunes. Ooh. It's a banger sound mix. Well done, WB. The 4K has been delayed here in the UK to October 23rd. I heard that, which is a bummer.
Rather delayed than some exchange program.
Yes. King Tannic sends in a super sticker. Thank you, King Tannic. I hope we have a...
Speaking of King Tannic, Rob, just quick, I watched, the new hit show on Netflix, One Piece.
What'd you think?
Totally loved it. The only drawback, I don't have any ties to the manga or the anime show, but you should have seen some animes, because it can get wackadoodle, or like you would say, Rob, you have to get it with the whimsical,
Yeah.
So if you're not ready for that kind of stuff, it could perhaps be a little too much. But I had a great time with One Piece, and what great for me was, Rob, you didn't get left with a big cliffhanger. You really are happy for a second season, which we probably will get, but you don't get a big cliffhanger and left with an unsatisfying ending. So it was really great watch. Number 1 in 84 countries, One Piece. So good on you, Netflix, after the Cowboy Bebop debacle, which I personally quite enjoyed. They did it, Rob. They pulled it off.
I mean,
even if you have to give some leeway considering the CGI in One Piece.
Sure, but I think you nailed it. I mean, one of the problems that I think Western audiences or Western movies that try and adapt anime have had is the first thing that you get rid of is whimsy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
tough to translate, Rob, just that animated stuff in live action to translate it. It is a small line.
I'm glad it's doing well. I mean, King Tannic, I'm going to be curious to hear if he has something to say. I've been sending him articles about stuff. So, so hopefully there'll be. I don't even know. I haven't even looked. Let me see if we will be having a new episode of I can't tell you,
because he did a show last Sunday, but he had only watched the first one.
There will be an episode of the Otaku Experience. Episode 31 will drop today. I'll probably make it drop at 3 o'clock Pacific time. So that's good,
because he had only seen the first 2 episodes. And what I liked too of about the show, Rob, there wasn't anyone big names tied to the show. It was mostly, I know some of the actors from here and there, but not really big names that came with the show.
Right. Okay.
But I quite enjoyed One Piece.
Now this is going to be a bummer, but Guy Newby, or no, this isn't Guy Newby. Sorry, Guy. That was about The Exorcist. Thanks, Guy.
Yeah.
Adventure Square writes in, sends in a super chat and says Ingram Entertainment just announced they're shutting down. So that takes one of the two largest distributors out of the disc production game. Now this is the big news that I was going to share.
Yeah.
This was in Media Play News on September 7th, 2023, and it was written by Thomas K. Arnold. Ingram Entertainment, once the largest home entertainment distributor, exits the disc business. Ingram Entertainment is getting out of the DVD and Blu-ray disc business. Expenses are exceeding sales. Yeesh. So it's time to exit. Chairman and CEO David Ingram told Media Play News, every associate who fulfills their obligation and parts on good terms is getting severance. Our exit from the industry is orderly and most customers and studios have been notified. We will be around for a while as we reduce inventory. We have no bank debt. Once the largest distributor of physical media home entertainment product, the Laverne, Tennessee-based company consolidated disc distribution even more through its 2019 acquisition of Baker & Taylor, another large distributor of home entertainment products. At the time, Chairman and CEO David Ingram said in a press release that structural changes in the physical home entertainment market space triggered the deal. Acquiring these entertainment assets of Baker & Taylor will enhance our financial performance by enabling us to process more units through our existing facilities throughout the country. Those efficiencies will better position us to work with our suppliers to provide our retailers, including former Baker & Taylor retail entertainment customers, with the products they need for the success of their business. In short, we look forward to the opportunities this transition provides for our suppliers, customers, and associates. 5 years earlier, in 2014, Ingram acquired the assets of another large home video distributor, VPD the Fourth Incorporated of Folsom, California. VPD, which did business as video products distributors, also was a distributor of DVDs, Blu-ray discs, video games, and gaming systems. Ingram Entertainment was founded in 1981. During the heyday of the VHS era, when independent retail stores still accounted for the majority of the home entertainment business, most video cassettes came to market through third-party distributors like Ingram, Baker & Taylor, VPD, Major Video Concepts, Artec, Waxworks, and Flash distributors. Distributors met each spring in Indian Wells, California for annual meetings with studio executives where, through their trade group, the National Association of Video Distributors, NAVD, they lobbied for better pricing and terms, as well as a standard Tuesday street date for new home video releases. The rise of national video rental chains, most notably Blockbuster, saw studios establish direct relationships with key retail buys, minimizing the importance of third-party distributors. This trend accelerated with the advent of DVD. Ingram was also a pioneer in the distributor mailer business, in which distributors charged studios and suppliers money to run ads in weekly or monthly catalogs of new and upcoming releases. The distributor mailer was a primary competitor to video trade magazines, which at their peak numbered 5. Steve Scavelli, who owns one of the few remaining home entertainment distributors, Flash Electronics of Brooklyn, New York, said, "This is not surprising. Everyone knows physical media as a percentage of home entertainment has been declining for the last 20 years, and especially for a large company with large overhead, it's next to impossible to make a profit. Ingram has been a stalwart of the industry for many years, and I'm sure this decision came from a financial perspective and not just enough product and not enough business in the physical realm." So that's where we're at, man. I mean, it's studios, people are still buying. I mean, you've got all the niche companies like on this channel, what we promote, whether it's Kino Lorber, whether it's Criterion, whether it's Second Sight, 88 Films, 101 Films, Umbrella, Imprint, Radiance, the powerhouse company that puts out all the indicator stuff. Arrow, Turbine, Coke, which is now
Play On.
I mean, all of these companies, they've figured out, like, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how Kino Lorber makes money, to be honest, unless they're getting, but God bless them. They're putting out, to get these documentaries and to get the stuff they put out. Criterion's still going strong, but for how long? I mean, they had to lay off people. They have the Criterion channel. I mean, also, one of the things that I have to say, too, is, and we talk about this also, is that movies are not the go-to entertainment that they were in the 20th century. You have a whole group of people, a whole group of 25 and under people that grew up with a world, well, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, video games, all of this stuff. It's just different entertainment. And what it's done is, and in a way, it's put new consumers at the center of, they're the stars of their own entertainment sphere. When you're playing a video game, you're playing the video game. You're not passively, and that was always true, but when you're playing something, and even TikTok, everyone's making their own entertainment. It's all about them. And I think that that's a shift in our culture. I have a theory about that being designed because it makes people easier to control, but no one's looking outward anymore. It's all me, 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 me. So you just give people, you appeal to their ego, and you can make them do what you want because they're not looking outward anymore. They're just looking at themselves. But hey, that's a theory. But that's unfortunately where we're at, which is a bummer.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
we have some tips. People have been sending in some tips. Lieutenant Commander Selinga says, what are your favorite movie years? Mine are 94 and 95, Shawshank, Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, Leon, Mask, The Crow, Natural Born Killers, Speed, Clear and Present Danger, Mouth of Madness, Interview with the Vampire, Heat, Seven, Casino, Toy Story, Apollo 13, Strange Days, classics galore. That's definitely a good year. I mean, I would have to, I could go back to 39, with like Wizard of Oz and Gone with the Wind. But that's definitely a good year. 1982. I was in a documentary that just finished airing about 82.
Exactly.
I mean,
that is the year. That is the year.
I mean, there's so many different great years in cinema. I don't know. I'd have to look and see. But definitely 94, 95 is good. Pulp Fiction's part of that too, and that's not on your list either. But that was a good year as well.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Commander Selinga goes, the best setting for home 3D, a 3D DLP projector, no ghosting, with frame interpolation and 80-inch plus canvas. Why interpolation? Because 24p flickering disrupts the 3D, as only a high frame rate provides the illusion of solid objects in space as you see them in reality. The problem is what you've just described is premium equipment. And that's another reason why. That's another reason why it's. And I agree with you, but to get a 3D DLP projector with an 80-inch screen, that's good. That alone is, you've already elevated the equipment out of the reach of most people, and most people, unfortunately, they don't care. They just don't. Sophie, who's 20 years old, who Elizabeth's daughter, youngest daughter, is always walking around watching things. She comes in last night or a couple nights ago, and she's watching something on her phone in the kitchen. I'm like, "Are you watching Jaws?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." And I'm like,
"Yeah."
And I'm horrified. Like, you're watching Jaws on your phone? I'm like, okay. But at least she's watching Jaws, so there's an upside to that. But on the other hand,
as always, Rob, there are two sides of a coin.
You win some, lose some. And then Lieutenant Commander Selinga also says, by the way, when you store players for later use, I suggest using them now and then to ensure the mechanics are running smoothly, like the motor, are not stuck due to age and no usage. Also, to download any firmware updates that you're going to need.
Totally forgot that, Rob. The updates.
Got to do the updates. And then Lieutenant Commander Selinga also says the disc producers are also to blame. Why keep producing DVDs competing with their cheaper price with Blu-ray and 4K, hurting their sales? They removed vinyl and cassettes within months and only mass-produced audio CDs. I think that's a good point, But
Yeah.
if I would, as we
Our
know,
chart.
if you, the chart that we show on these shows, and now where is my chart? I have to go to. So as we know from, I've somehow misplaced. I have misplaced my control panel here. So if you look here, if you look at this, so DVDs still bring up 54% of the market, Blu-rays 30.9, and our beloved 4K, depending on what comes out that week, 14.8%. The real problem is most people, and this isn't necessarily a criticism, it's just the truth. Most people are not home theater aficionados, and the problem with what we love is that you don't just have to have a player, you have to have a television and a sound system that makes all these things worth getting. Most people have DVD players, they throw them in and they can watch whatever they want because they're not home theater aficionados. And to be a home theater aficionado is to care about your presentation. And I mean, if you think about it, just having a decent system, you're looking at thousands of dollars to have a decent Atmos system. You're a basic system, and not like, even in my
Entry level.
Yeah, I would consider what I'm running here in my house is entry level, and I still have $10,000 worth of equipment in my media room, just to start.
Yeah.
And I look at that as an entry level system. Maybe more than that, probably about $15,000. But just because I'm a snob, I'm running my preamp, my amplifier. I guess I have a $5,000 Pioneer Elite system that just running my sound system through, and that's just basic. If I were to build the home theater system I want, I'm looking at $500,000. When am I ever going to get that? And people would be like, most people like, why would you do that? I've been in home theater systems, home theater rooms that are $1 million home theater rooms, and they're amazing. And you're like, I never would want to watch movies any other way. And you're like, yes, but it costs more than a house.
The house, yeah.
So
the sky is the limit, considering our hobby.
Yeah, and I'm down with that. That's a dream of mine. But I think that's the problem. Is I don't know if it's necessarily hurting their sales, but if you're going to have a 4K disc, you need a 4K TV, you need a 4K player, and then if you're rocking 4K, you're going to want an Atmos system.
Yeah.
So you're looking at, and that's 7 speakers minimum. 7 speakers and a subwoofer. So, I'm running 8 speakers, and I could be in the room I'm in. I'd love to bump it up, but if I had any more speakers, the sound would be muddy. You wouldn't hear all the channels. So it's all Lieutenant Commander Slinga gets it though. He has a great grasp of what we're dealing with here. 1001 Johnny says, "Here's a little something for your efforts, gentlemen. I'll have to tune out the show though to read me some physical media I've been meaning to crack open. Rex Stout's novel, The Golden Spiders, and something I'm excited about, Itogawa Rampo's Japanese Mystery. There's a book called The Mystery. There's a movie called The Mystery of Rampo. I guess that's what it's an adaptation of. So you got to report back on that." Irene Jobson says, "Physical media." There you go, Irene. Adventure Square says, "I could see a future where releases become all digital, but with printable artwork and commentaries." Just saying, to cap the topic on a higher note. Well, I think so. I think that's probably true. But at the end, the problem that I have is that once things become digital only, and maybe you can own them, but again, what happens in 20 or 30 years with, our digital formats? And also, a lot of these smaller releases in the like the Jean Rollin lesbian vampire movies, when you put a lot of these titles on a major streaming service, they're going to get pulled off because they're niche titles, and the only things that people are going to end up watching, you're going to have a huge, the curve is going to be all the A-list movies, and then all the movies we love are going to be way down here, and they're going to be the first movies to get pulled off of streaming services. And that's the danger. The danger is that we're going to lose our rich cinematic legacy. I mean, can you imagine what streaming service is going to have? You might want to check out our rape revenge section for horror. I mean, on it, we've got both the original Last House on the Left and the remake, which Dieter Bastian says the microwave scene is essential. And Rob Burnett's favorite thriller, A Cruel Picture. We have the X-rated version with the anal sex, and we have the version that doesn't have any of that at all. And that's released, as they call her, One Eye. I mean, it's never, all that stuff's going to go away.
Yeah.
You know, and especially people like, I can't believe my daughter was watching Thriller, A Cruel Picture, and she's 14 years old. I was horrified. And then they're going to pull that off there. I mean, why your daughter's watching that, I don't know, but somebody's going to, somebody's daughter's going to find that movie.
Could be problematic.
What's going to happen? I don't know. But, and then, the Swedes are going to be like, that's a Swedish movie. You can't pull it off. No, this is terrible. I mean, that's what's going to happen. Can you imagine, like, if you had certain exploitation titles that were just available, like Saudi Arabia starts their first streaming service, and they have a great curated selection of horror films from around the world. That would probably last about 10 minutes before it got shut down. Oh, well. What are you going to do? People are no fun. Come on. But, yep. I don't know, man. It's a weird world we live in. What can we say? I don't know. So we're all caught up there. Should we do the news?
We're all caught up. Yeah, do the news.
Okay, since I'll get to the news.
What can we expect to come out?
Well, I'll tell you, buddy. We've got things like Godzilla, Roland Emmerich's Godzilla in 4K.
Isn't Godzilla already out in 4K, and this is just the steelbook version?
Yeah, it's just the steelbook version.
Yeah.
But, I'm not going to buy this. Not a big fan. What are you going to do? A third Alfred Hitchcock collection coming out with Rope, The Man Who Knew Too Much, Torn Curtain, Topaz, and Frenzy. Not exactly A-list titles. Got to get it as a completist, but hey, I'll get that. Once again, Paramount pulling their shenanigans, releasing something on Blu-ray again, and then putting it out in 4K. Naked Gun, 4K Steelbook. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Pre-ordered. It's pre-ordered.
Yeah. Oh, these are, pre-order, of course. And then, of course, Scream Factory putting out Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, in 4K, coming out. They are also putting out Stephen King's Silver Bullet in 4K. They're releasing this movie, the movie that brought Eric Bana to the world, Choppa. I really like this movie a lot. Coming out from Scream Factory. They're also putting out Eli Roth's Death Wish. I mean, it's really interesting, dude. What is missing from the cover of this title, the cover of this disc? What is missing? Who stars in this movie?
Bruce Willis.
Where is he? His face isn't
Is that his silhouette?
I guess so. But would you have ever thought that somebody would release a 4K version of an Eli Roth / Bruce Willis film where they wouldn't say that Bruce Willis is in the movie? Are people supposed to believe? They're supposed to wonder, is this the Charles Bronson original?
So you think they're tricking the people into buying?
I don't know what this is, but you know what? I mean, come on. I think that's I think it's sad.
I don't remember that cover artwork from the movie at all.
It's just a sad state of affairs. Sonny Chiba Volume 2 coming out. From Shout Select. What's not to love? And of course, Farscape, the complete series. I don't know if this has the Peacekeeper Wars in it, but hey, I'll get this, and why not? And then, of course, Fargo coming out from Shout Select in 4K. Gotta have this. One of the Coen brothers' masterpieces, yes. And Kino Lorber, they're dipping into the cult titles. Jess Franco's Sinner, The Secret Diary of a Nymphomaniac. I mean, the Irene Jobson story, right? I don't know. Could be coming out. Hey, there's a movie I love. John Borman's The Emerald Forest is coming out from Kino Lorber. John Borman, who directed Zardoz and Exorcist 2, but also directed Excalibur and Deliverance. So, and Hope and Glory. So I love this movie. I really like this one. I love the soundtrack. I'll buy this. So good on you, Kino Lorber. I don't have to because you'll send it to me. Jonathan Mostow's U571. Now, Studio
Awesome.
Canal's putting this out. I love this movie. Unfortunately, it's Studio Canal, so I hope Studio Canal has not made the ocean look teal. Please don't make the ocean look teal, Studio Canal.
They gotten better, Rob. They gotten better.
They've gotten better, but they have gotten better, but they've done things wrong. Here is a steelbook.
No deal with Cutthroat Island, Rob.
Well, that's good. That's good. So that's cool.
The steelbook.
Yes. And then is it Deaf Crocodile? That label. This is really cool. They've put out some pretty interesting stuff. They're doing some animation. Cat City, which I haven't seen. This ain't no kiddie cartoon. It's edgy, funny, sexy, and hip. Cat City is the cartoon capital from Buzz Magazine. I don't know what it is, but I'll get it. Deaf Crocodile. I think it's Deaf Crocodile, right? They do some really interesting stuff. Bill Plimpton's the tune. I really like Bill Plimpton's stuff. Definitely worth getting. And then this, I know nothing about this, but they're putting this out too. Benny's Bataker. I haven't even heard about this. I don't know this, but I'll get it just because I don't know, and it looks weird and animated, and they've done a great job restoring things. And here's something, perhaps my disc news of the week. The Sandman is coming out. I know it's on Netflix. I love The Sandman. I love Neil Gaiman's The Sandman. Getting this on 4K. I hope there's special features. I'm so excited that this Netflix show is getting released. I don't know why it is, but thank you. Somebody out there is thinking of Rob Burnett, and I want to thank you for thinking of me, which is fantastic. Now we've also got.
Isn't that the? If I think about it, the first Netflix show that is available in 4K.
Well, they've put out Stranger Things. Oh, yes, I think it is the fourth.
But I think it was
4K,
only season 1.
Yeah,
considering Stranger Things, and they didn't follow it up with the subsequent seasons.
No,
so I think I don't think of another show that they released. So perhaps it's because it's from Warner Brothers.
It could be. There's some deal here. I don't know how it was made, but God bless them for putting it out. Maybe it was part of the deal on getting season 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then we got Edward D. Wood's Meat Cleaver Massacre coming out from 101 Films. I don't know if you'll dig that, but okay. Not something I'll buy, but I think 101, they do the Lord's work, so look at that. Why not? Get that if you're an Edward D. Wood fan. Kino Lorber is putting... This is another shocking thing. Now, I love Stanley Kubrick. He's my favorite director. But this is his first film that he never wanted released.
Okay.
Not
there you go, Rob. There you have it.
But not only has it come out before, but Kino Lorber is putting this out in 4K.
Holy man.
Yeah.
Fear and Desire. Okay.
Fear and Desire. It's a anti-war film. It's, it's perhaps not the greatest movie in the world, but hey, it's coming out in 4K. Now, speaking
start somewhere.
Speaking of Radiance, look at this. World Noir, Volume 1. This is full of all kinds of different, it's full of different kinds of movies. So, I would say that this is definitely a title, again, because now I'm a big Radiance fan. I'm gonna get pre-excited for everything that Radiance puts out, and so this is really interesting. So it is a Blu-ray box set, and though widely considered an American filmmaking style, film noir was first applied by French critics to the visual style and thematic darkness of the flood of American films in the post-war period. These films, often by European immigrant filmmakers, were influenced by European filmmaking modes, most notably French poetic realism and Weimar cinema. The American noirs that flourished in the 1940s and 50s in turn influenced cinema around the world again. This ongoing box set series attempts to capture the trails of the noir influence across the globe, from the pre-war period to the emergence of neo-noir, expanding our understanding and availability of this rich filmmaking tradition. So these. So you've got here are the movies. You've got The Facts of Murder. You've got Witness in the City. I Am Waiting, and I think that's pretty cool. So I Am Waiting, Witness in the City, and The Facts of Murder. Now, and I forgot to add to this, but they're also putting out a movie called
It's limited edition, Rob. 3,000 copies.
Yeah, well, I think all their discs are. But they're also putting movies out called Elegant Feast, Black God, White Devil, which is a Brazilian movie, and also The Facts of. Oh, these are all. I guess these are all in the thing, and The Facts of Murder.
Okay.
Murder Obsession. So anyway, yeah, get this set. I'm gonna buy it. I don't know much about it. I'm gonna get it though. Good on Radiance for putting that out. And then Kino Lorber dropping some heat with Stalag 17. Stalag 17, William Holden, Don Taylor, and Otto Preminger star in Stalag 17, a great World War II movie in 4K. So you go, Kino Lorber. I'm very excited about this. Sympathy for the Devil, the 4K Steelbook, the recent film from Joe Kinnaman and Nicolas Cage. I haven't seen that. I'll buy this just because I want to see it.
Mediocre, Rob. I told you about.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Now, here's a movie, Deets, that I know that you're really excited to get in 4K. It's probably a movie, one of your top 10 favorite movies of all time, coming out in 4K.
Show it to me. Show it to me.
Here it is. Now, I know you're going to talk about how great it is. Of course, that is Terms of Endearment, Deborah Winger, Shirley MacLaine, and Jack Nicholson. What's Not to Love? Once again, a movie. I actually really like this cover. A movie that, it's a beloved film. Not maybe perhaps for you, but for a lot of people. It's a great movie. Academy Award-winning kind of a film.
Yeah.
So, for you.
But if you have shown me just the cover up, I couldn't have told you the title of the movie. If you have just don't put any titles on it, just below the title, I wouldn't have.
I know, man.
What that movie is.
What can I tell you? But here, I just gave up the ghost. I wanted to follow that up with a favorite of yours, the Cutthroat Island Steelbook, the domestic release from Rennie, your favorite, your boy. Here you go.
You should get it too, Rob, because I told you.
Oh, I'm going to get this. Oh, for sure.
Because there's great new bonus features about the production, and one that's great for Rob. About 15 or 20 minutes where the editor of Cutthroat Island talks about the movie.
Now this
and
really...
how much footage they had to go through to put stuff together, and he gives some examples how he does put scenes together for.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. You told me, I'm excited. Now this fucking pisses me off. This new thing. One of my favorite movies of last year, Park Chan-wook's Decision to Leave. I just fucking bought this on Blu-ray.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, but no, Park Chan-wook's putting it out. I mean, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
But Mubi is now putting out in 4K. I am really getting tired. Paramount, Mubi, these companies that are like testing the waters, they'll put something out on Blu-ray and then follow it up months later in 4K. Just give me the goddamn 4K so I can buy it. I know, now you got twice my money, but now I'm mad at you.
Yeah, they got my money twice too, Rob, even if I probably knew it at the time. The 4K came immediately out here, and the German title was The Woman in the Fog.
Of course it was.
Decision to Leave. Come on, Rob. What is that kind of a title? Decision to Leave.
Now,
The Woman in the Fog.
This next thing, on one hand, it's kind of cool, but it's also ridiculously stupid. So, this is from Paramount.
Yeah.
This is the Paramount Scares collection. I don't know what the fuck this is. I mean...
Considering the movies they put together, and then we talk about it here, Rob, Cat in the Bag, but at least when I buy a Cat in the Bag, at least I know the title of the movie. But here you get one mysterious movie that you even don't know what it will be.
Well, it's Rosemary's Baby. So it's Rosemary's Baby. So they're putting Smile, Crawl, Pet Cemetery, and I get Rosemary's Baby. Right, there's a fifth title we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's even more a cat in the bag than I used to buy.
So first of all, I understand these are like Paramount scares, but you're putting
Yeah.
Rosemary's
Yeah.
Baby, Pet Cemetery, Crawl, and Smile
Yeah.
along with
Collection is
this.
strange.
Now here's the thing. You know what I want it to be? You know what I want the movie to be? And people are gonna say that I'm silly and ridiculous. I want it to be Prophecy, the Jelly Bear monster movie. With the kid in the I want it to be Prophecy.
Could be, Rob.
If they put Prophecy in there, I'll buy it. If they put Prophecy in there, I'll buy it. But I'm like, yeah, you don't know what this is. I was like, the fifth thing. Like, I don't know what this is. I get it, but look,
even the cover artwork is strange to me.
The whole thing. I mean, Smile and Crawl. By the way, Crawl's great, and Smile's great. But I already bought these in 4K.
Exactly.
I mean, I get what they're trying to do, but come on, man. And then you're telling me, like, it's so weird that you're putting out a 4K movie that they're not going to tell you what it is.
Yes, exactly.
Like, what is it? Like,
it's a step above our cat in the bag.
And here's the thing. Crawl and Smile. Crawl's actually really good. Really like Crawl. Smile's pretty good. But Pet Cemetery, it's not so good. It's not great. And then they're putting in Rosemary's Baby. Rosemary's Baby, I'm sorry, is a class above. You're talking about, are they trying to hide it because Roman Polanski directed it? Like, what are they doing? Rosemary's Baby.
They were at least from the same time period. Put together.
Yeah. Crawl. I mean, it's so weird. Pet Cemetery is what, 87?
Yeah,
you know,
I think so.
And
around it.
I mean, it's such a weird. I don't get it. I don't understand. But hey, whatever.
We need to know that fifth movie that could save the collection.
Prophecy. By the way, I'm kidding about that. It's not going to get me to buy that set. I mean, I don't know. It's just weird. And then we have. I don't know what the fuck this is.
Rob, this is. I saw that just before we went into the show. I saw it. I believe this morning. Disney needs money.
So Disney's going to release 100 animated classics in one big Blu-ray disc box set. Now, this looks kind of cool, I guess. Yeah. But, I mean, if you're selling this to people, the people that I would imagine most everybody who collects discs already has these movies on Blu-ray. I mean, I have most of the Disney classics on Blu-ray. I bought them. I don't know. Like you said, Disney needs money.
Have you seen the price tag, Rob?
No.
I think it's $1,500.
Come on.
I think so, Rob. I think so.
Really?
It's 100 movies, Rob. No.
Yeah, but it's 100 movies that have. Hang on. I'm going to look at this. Let me
look it up, Rob. Not that I say anything wrong, but I think it was 1,500.
Wow. I also want to say I think I don't know if I guess I forgot to put it up, but I also want to say that Kino Lorber is releasing Clint Eastwood's Play Misty for Me. But I'm trying to find this box set, and I'm looking. Yeah. Hang on, let me see. Disney.
I think it was Serial at Midnight on Instagram where I saw it.
Yeah, it might be.
Let me just check. I think it was.
I'm looking at this. 100 animated.
That is Rob. I have it here from Serial at Midnight, with 100 discs and a price of $1,500. He says in his post here on Instagram.
Let's see. So it is.
That's why I said, Rob, Disney needs money, Rob.
Okay, here are the titles. Snow White, Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, Bambi, Saludos Amigos, The Three Caballeros, Make Mine Music, Fun and Fancy Free, Melody Time, The Adventures of Ichabod, Mr. Toad, Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, Lady and the Tramp, Sleeping Beauty, 101 Dalmatians, The Sword and the Stone, Jungle Book, The Aristocats, Robin Hood, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, The Rescuers, Fox and the Hound, The Black Cauldron, The Great Mouse Detective, Oliver and Company, The Little Mermaid, Rescuers Down Under, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, The Lion King, Goofy Movie, Pocahontas, Toy Story, James and the Giant Peach, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hercules, Mulan, A Bug's Life, Tarzan, Toy Story, Fantasia 2000, The Tigger Movie, Dinosaur, The Emperor's New Groove, Atlantis, The Lost Empire, Monsters, Inc. That's Return to Neverland. That's 50, right there. I'm not going to read the rest. But,
Yeah.
I mean, they've got everything. Now, what...
That was fast. That's
Do you like
all
that?
for you.
You like that?
That was fast.
The discs will come in a unique self-standing 3-volume set that unfolds like a storybook, along with a plethora of Blu-ray titles for 100 animated movies. The collection also includes digital codes for each title. Other bonuses with the set include the original theatrical poster art, a collectible lithograph for Wish, which is coming out, and a collectible crystal Mickey Mouse ears hat that has exclusive Disney 100 engraving. Some of the Pixar movies included will also come with a bonus disc of extras. Some of the Pixar movies. I wonder if you're going to get the Emperor's New Groove special features that we did. Yeah, you're right. Disney needs money. I still don't know how much it costs, but if you say it's $1,500, there you go.
Cyril at Midnight said in his post, the price would be $1,500 for, I think, 100 movies, 15 a piece. $1,500. There you go.
That's not much of a. Okay, who's going to buy this?
Not me, Rob.
On Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I mean, Disney collectors. This is not the way to win hearts and minds. I'm just saying, $1,500. Yeah. The most expensive physical media I bought was, of course, Legends of the Galactic Heroes from Sentai Filmworks, and that was $800, and it was worth it. But I am not going to buy this. No.
No.
So here are the top selling Blu-ray and 4K discs for the week. The
Flash. Great.
Yeah, this is the top 10, not top 20. So the top selling Blu-ray titles: The Flash, Fast X, No Hard Feelings, Your Girl, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, John Wick Chapter 4, Super Mario Brothers the movie, Infinity Pool. Ooh, I forgot Infinity Pool came out, but I've got to wait and get that. Again, Decal puts that out before we still haven't gotten to our final discs. Avatar: The Way of Water, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I keep forgetting to buy, and Yellowstone: An Origin Story.
Nice.
And then we have the 4K, best-selling 4K disc, The Flash, Guardians of the Galaxy, Fast X, Infinity Pool. I love that Infinity Pool is on this list from Decal. Battlestar Galactica. Who would have thought Battlestar Galactica from '78 would be there? But that's how starving we are for 4K discs. The Nightmare Before Christmas, John Wick Chapter 4, Your Bride of Chucky, Super Mario Brothers, and The Last of Us, the complete first season.
Because I think it's available as a Schnäppchen.
That's right. That is right. Oops, that's a mistake. Didn't mean to do that. And then we're down to the top 20 sellers total. This is all disc, including DVD. So The Flash, Fast X, No Hard Feelings, Guardians of the Galaxy 1923, John Wick Chapter 4, Super Mario Brothers, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Fast and the Furious. The Flash, the final season. It's not The Fast and Furious because it's small. I can't read it.
The Flash, the Nines, and
Nightmare Before Christmas. So there you go. Yeah. There it all is, buddy. So that's all the news that I deemed fit to print this week. Good. So we got that good stuff coming down the pike, though.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's more A World in Pajamas.
Science Lady.
Science Lady, green-eyed lady. She says, "Hi, gents. Great to see you both. I just came back from a fancy Greek restaurant, and I'm excited to get Sandman, my Christmas present. Glad I came home." Well, that's good. World in Pajamas. Do you go to pajamas to Greek restaurants? I'd like to see that. Lieutenant Commander Salinga says, "Suggestion: bragging time for your channel viewers. Let them send in photos of their home cinema and movie collections, maybe even a still with a VHS or Super 8 and a typical movie night, and you should show them on the air and comment on the photos." That's a great idea.
We did that. Yeah, and we already did some, Rob, when people did send us photos of their collection.
Yeah, we did. I think we should do that more. Let's do that. I encourage you to go to postgeeksingularity.com right down there, and you send us your pictures of your home theater or your collections or whatever it is you want to show us, and we'll show them on the show. We'll put them on the show. So, and why not? And why not? So bragging time. Yeah, let's call it that. Let's just call it a new segment, bragging time. And then we'll decide whether you should be bragging about it or not. We'll be like, ooh. And you've got to send us a list about your equipment. What equipment are you running? So I like that. That's a good idea. Lieutenant Commander Salinga goes on to say, what is sad about the demise of 3D, no high-quality conversions of classics, like Alien and Aliens, Die Hard, actually looks like a 2D version of a 3D movie. The Shining, also like a 2D version of a 3D movie. Inception, The Abyss, 2001, The Mask, and Back to the Future. Now, you're talking about doing post conversions. I think something like The Shining with all the early Steadicam work would be really interesting. Yeah. But I'm of two minds. We've gotten the Top Gun 3D conversions great. The Titanic version 3D is great.
But we shouldn't forget, Rob, how much that cost, the Titanic conversion.
Yeah, insane amounts of money to do it correctly. Yeah. And also Jurassic Park is a really great 3D conversion. I just, I don't know. It'd be nice to get 3D conversions of certain movies, but again, they weren't shot that way.
Yeah.
So,
especially, with the crane structure from older movies that you have to handle with 3D, could be problematic.
Yes, it absolutely could be problematic. So, but it's not a bad idea.
No.
Planet Cult says that Disney's Blu-rays flood the Danish supermarkets at $3 a pop.
So some Schnäppchens there to get.
So yeah, I mean, it's not good. Not good. Well, listen, this has been a 3-hour show. We're back,
and we have still stuff. We have still stuff left, Rob.
Yes, we do. We do.
But before we get to that, Rob, two things that I got. Also, Rob, this week from my neighborhood, people in French, Hereditary from Ari Aster as a 4K. Rob.
Oh man, nice look at that!
And hopefully, Rob, it comes not with forced subtitles, but I don't think so. It's from Metropolitan. They usually don't have that feature. So Hereditary as a 4K from France. And then, what you did forget to buy, Infinity Pool.
Oh, nice. Is that a steelbook?
Steelbook. Yeah, that is the steelbook. That is the steelbook. I think it's only available as a steelbook.
Could be.
Not sure.
But I think I think our company that we're going to talk about is putting that out, aren't they?
It could be. So, a steelbook from Brenton Kronberg, and Rob, I give it over to you. We have the son. You take over. It's the father.
The father becomes the son. Okay. Here's again. Can we just start? This is the portion of the show where we once again talk about these. This is the second sight appreciation portion of Let's Get Physical Media. I love, and I have to say, I was a little worried because I don't know if our postal system decided that they wanted to test the limits, but the box was kind of smashed.
Ooh. But luckily, Second Sight always
Second Sight always individually wrapped. See, here's the thing about Second Sight. It follows. Now, this disc is.
That was surprising to me, Rob, that you bought it, because we all know you are not the biggest fan for the last part, but it was great that you saw it again and said, "Hey,
I liked it better." This, I mean, first of all, look at how thick. I know that's what Irene's like. That's what she said. Look at how thick, and this is really about team sex.
I haven't even watched in the inside. Rob.
First of all, look, all the swag, none of that matters. What matters, as we all know, is the presentation of the film. I know. Oh God, I love these things. This transfer is absolutely stunning. There are points in this that look so good. I mean, digital. Yeah, you got all this extra stuff, and it's so good that it looks like you're looking out a window.
Awesome.
And this is now, and I have to say. I got some nose grease on this.
You talk about the movie, Rob. I showed discs.
So the movie, I like the movie. I mean, it really is a really interesting. This book, though, I'll tell you something. I got sucked in. So last night after I watched the movie with Elizabeth went to bed. See, the problem with these is you don't want to get grease.
What did Elizabeth thought about the movie.
She really liked it. At first, she wasn't digging it, but then she really liked it. I mean, there is a moment in this movie that is one of my favorite scares in any modern film.
With the tall ghost? Oh, don't remember it.
It's so
back
good.
In the couch. It's so good.
When he comes in the bedroom door.
Yeah.
That moment exactly. Is that so. Moment. It's so. Now, I have a few problems because they haven't really figured out the mythology behind what's going on, and they don't really explain it. It's really sort of an esoteric. But watching it again and the weird technology and stuff. But I will say this: so this book that comes with the disc, and if you look at it, this book is actually a collection of essays, and again, only Second Sight gives you like this hardcover book. I got sucked into reading this. I read like half of this sitting at the kitchen table after I watched the movie. This book is fascinating. It's a fascinating analysis of this film, and I'm like, okay, and again, Second Sight. The fact that if I made a low budget horror movie and Second Sight decided that they would release my film, it'd be like one of the great honors of all time. I'm just saying. And then this is a low budget, and then you couple that
exactly,
with,
Rob. Exactly. It's just a low budget independent horror movie.
But it's a low budget independent movie. So people, can I once again please Disney, Fox, Bob Iger, please allow, because you're not going to do fuck all with these movies. Please somebody call up Second Sight and ask them, beg them, say, look, I'm sure they'll do it. Barbarian and The Empty Man. I want Second Sight versions of Barbarian and The Empty Man. I don't mean to presume to tell Second Sight to run their business, but I want The Empty Man. David Pryor produced all of David Fincher's special editions. Imagine what he'll be able to give you for The Empty Man. Please put The Empty Man and please put Barbarian out. There's no physical media release of Barbarian. Apparently Disney doesn't give fuck all about it. But we want it. And then the other thing that came, speaking about Brandon Cronenberg.
You butchered the transition, Rob.
From
Brandon Cronenberg, told you, show the father stuff. And then you showed it follows.
I'm sorry. I know. But, and then we have, I know this has come out on that decal label, but The Crimes of the Future. Now, I haven't even delved into this yet, but there is also.
Me neither.
I haven't looked at the transfer. I was going to do that today. But again, you've got the movie in 4K. And look, David Cronenberg is also one of my favorite directors. But it's interesting because I'm hoping this gets into the history of the film and when he wrote it and stuff. Yeah. But I'm really looking forward to delving into this. Again, a great book. So you go, Second Sight. Give me what I want. I wish Second Sight would do all of David Cronenberg's movies, but Arrow has done a fine job, and so has Criterion. So there you go. The Second Sight Appreciation Society continues unabated.
I wasn't expecting that you would have bought It Follows, but that's great to know.
Well, I wasn't even going to buy May, but I bought May, and it's gotten to the point where I'll just buy everything Second Sight puts out. Just because. This is the way. Yeah, I'm Second Sight. I'll buy anything that they put out because why not? Maybe one day if I got Free Enterprise back in 4K, they'd put that out. And they can. But Second Sight became.
I want the signed one, Rob. I want the signed copy. Then
you might like the new version better. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I would. Second Sight. After Dawn of the Dead, they can do no wrong. But now they just buy Second Sight discs. They're worth having.
But it's like you said. At some point, what kind of movies are left to release?
No, it's true. And look, the Hitcher is a beautifully shot film. And, Robert Harmon was involved. And they've been working on this. They were posting Twitter shots of, before Twitter became X, of their...
Because I was already happy with the German Blu-ray.
Yeah, but that 4Ks, if it looks like... I don't even understand, which I haven't, delved into the special features or anything. I wonder if they did a piece on the restoration, because I think It Follows was shot digitally. So
would think so.
it's in 4K, and I want to see if there's a piece on the restoration process. Maybe there is. I don't know, because they do.
Great.
Their discs are chock-a-block full of stuff. Or maybe I didn't even look to see if they have the stuff in 4K. But you go, Second Sight. To get a box from Second Sight is to just bring joy into my life.
Yeah.
And
and especially since you get an email if something is get postponed because of something. That's always better to postpone something than to have to replace the disc with an exchange program. It should be tip-top out of the gate.
And I would love to have somebody from Second Sight come on this show if we could get them to come on. And so we promise we won't gush too much,
Yeah. And Rob, I have one last thing to show. I know this was the highlight of the show, but I have one last thing. And this is totally nostalgia to the max, because this was an animated show that I watched when I was, a little bit smaller. And I waited for a price drop to get this. Because back in the day, Rob, I watched it as a kid, loved the show. What I didn't know, Rob, is that this animated show was, of course, in Germany, censored. And they didn't show all the episodes back in the day, Just like with Patterns of Force, which never aired here. So I didn't know that
the show... Look at you dropping the Star Trek reference.
Yeah. So I didn't know that there were actually more episodes of the show and uncut versions. And one company released those versions, both versions, because the German one has, of course, Rob, a legendary dub. Exceptional new music. And I bought, Rob, I don't know if you heard of this, Captain Future. I bought.
Is that an Japanese animated show?
Exactly. Japanese animated show. And you've got 2 sets in it. This is the German version of those episodes. So they only showed 40 episodes of the show. It's, of course, 4x3. And then here you have the Japanese original version, so uncensored. And this is, I believe, 50, let me just see, I think 50 episodes is it actually, or 52, I believe. 52. There are actually 52 episodes in this. So this is totally a nostalgia. I waited for a price drop, and the price actually has gone up again. And to show you, Rob, how much of big a fan I was of Captain Future, I went deep into my archives because I still have toys from back in the day.
You do? Wow.
Future. I do, Rob. These are not Hot Toys, Rob, of course. You have the Robot Crack.
Wow.
Captain Future himself. The only thing that I was missing is the head from Otto, which was like how could I describe it? He could change his outer self, like a little bit Mission Impossible. And in it, I hope I can get it out, Rob, I actually had, the comet that is on the front of the cover. This is a ship, which actually had.
Wow, that's really cool. Is that die cast or is that plastic?
No, Rob. This is just plastic.
But that's
the main booster, for it to warp, and it had booster syrup, so you can actually land with the comet.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. On the bottom of that, does it have Japanese writing, Japanese copyright notice or anything on there?
Yeah, there is Japanese writing on it.
Okay, so did you buy that in Japan? I mean, in Germany?
I have no idea, Rob.
So that's a repurposed Japanese toy. Those are my favorite when I was a kid to get that. So that's an official Japanese.
Probably the camera can pick it up.
Yeah, dude, that's some rad shit. What they did was they did that with Shogun Warriors and stuff here in America. They bring them to America, but they were still the Japanese versions. Yeah. That is dope. Wow, that's so cool.
And I could even use some missiles, Rob, to put in
Yep.
here.
Wow,
could-
that's when did you get? Is that from your childhood?
For my childhood, Rob. Yeah, that's
You've
for
kept
my,
it in great
for my-
shape, and you still have the missiles.
Yeah, you can shoot the missiles. The only thing that I was missing is from Otto the head. The head is missing, and you could clip out here the front, and could put on other missiles, to shoot. But that's not all, Rob. That's not all. I have from Captain Future 2 this one. This is the Cosmoliner, and the Cosmoliner is in the main ship. They use
Right.
the
Oh my
Cosmoliner
god, dude! I Japanese toys of the '70s are like my catnip. Look at that.
to
Oh my
to
god.
fly down, and it's actually
I'm
Rob,
getting hot and bothered looking
now
at
I-
this.
Now I get it out, Rob. It's actually very heavy. I have to
Yeah,
to
because
say.
it's got to be die cast.
And you can put it this way, and there were some stuff
Wow.
in it where you can shoot it too. So this is actually really, really old toys because I was a big fan of Captain Future, but I never knew, Rob, back in the day that the episodes were censored and they didn't show. They didn't not that they didn't show every episode. Even the order was wrong. I heard on a YouTube channel who did a little bit about the show. So I waited for a price drop, and so I got the show to finally can see it full episodes, but there is no dubbing considering the uncensored version. They are only in Japanese with subtitling. So a little bit back from my childhood, Rob. It's called Captain Future. That's the title. love
I
this.
hate to tell you this, but there are updates of those figures of those ships.
Okay. Really?
Yes. So there is a Metal Tech.
Yeah.
It's called Captain Future Comet Metal Tech. It's a new version of those toys
Ship.
that you can buy. Let's see. You can get Big Bad Toy Store. It's sold out, but it's a new version. That's
Of the comic.
really amazing. HL Pro looks great. It retailed for $169, and interesting. So I'm going to read the people at home what Captain Future is because I didn't know anything about this. Captain Future is a pulp science fiction hero, a space traveling scientist and adventurer originally published in his namesake Pulp magazine from 1940 to 1944. The character was created by editors Mark Weisinger, who's very famous, and Leo Margulies. The majority of the stories were authored by Edmund Hamilton, and if memory serves, I want to say that Edmund Hamilton, I want to say that he wrote some of like When Worlds Collide. Maybe.
Ooh, okay.
Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But maybe not. Or maybe he wrote I'm looking and I'm not seeing that. But anyway, he created Captain Future. And the animated series, now that I'm looking at this, the animated series in 1978, 1 year after Hamilton's death, Toei Animation produced Captain Future. It was 53 episodes based on 13 of the stories. Captain Future's later iconic suit design itself was designed by Tadano Tsuji. Despite the differences in cultural references and the medium, the animated series was true to the original in many ways, from the didactic scientific explanations to the emphasis on the usefulness of brains as opposed to brawn. And in the late 80s, Harmony Gold dubbed the series the initial 4-part story and edited it into a TV movie called Captain Future, but with alterations regarding some of the character names. While only 8 episodes in total were dubbed into English, the series met huge success, particularly in Japan and France, where the title and lead character's name was changed to Captain Flam, in Italy with the translated title of Captain Futuro, and in Latin America and Spain with also the title Captain Futuro. The series was also broadcast in Germany, where it appeared under its original title. However, this version was cut by about a quarter of the original length, which mainly affected violent scenes or those considered expendable for the storyline. Wow. There you
Nice
go,
to
buddy.
know, Rob. Nice to know. So you give me more knowledge than I even know about.
So
about
that's
it.
that's interesting. We only got 4 episodes here in the States, so I never knew that
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. And I always remembered one episode, Rob, where someone had to sacrifice themselves so that they could fly away. I always remember I still waiting for that episode because it was some kind of, Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan
Wow.
situation.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, we can't go.
Really, really a trip down nostalgia.
And it's great you got that. So congratulations on getting that.
Yeah.
No money. G says, "Great show, guys. Happy birthday to one and all." Okay. Star Trek is having its birthday. It's had its birthday on September 8th. My grandfather's birthday, who passed away in 2008, it's his birthday too, or it was his birthday. So not mine. So no money, G. Thanks for the support. Dan Candy says, "Hey Bob, what's a good all-region player? I finally got my Wild at Heart from overseas, and only the menu will play." Well, look, there's a lot of on Amazon. There's a lot of multi-region players. I would suggest going for a Sony or a Panasonic, if you can.
Rob, this is strange. You can get the menu to load, but then comes the region warning.
I guess the menu loads, but when you try and actually play because the menu, it kind of makes sense because the menu, it would be the sub menu where the disc where the movie is. So
I'm used to the region coding warning is immediately at the beginning if you load it into a wrong.
It's very
so that
odd.
you can get the menu to load and then it doesn't play. That's strange.
But I would go for the Sony, and they're not. You can find them. They're around $300. A Sony multi-region player. You can get one for that. Our friend A World in Pajamas, Tracy, wants to know, past or present, which band or singer would you like to see live that you never got to see? Mine would be David Bowie and Joy Division. My aunt saw Joy Division. That's a good question. I saw David Bowie on the Glass Spider tour and on the Let's Dance tour. And I've never seen Joy Division. That would be a good one to see. Who would you have liked to have seen that you haven't seen?
I have never seen Queen, unfortunately. Live.
Me neither. That's a good one. I would like to have seen Queen.
Never seen Queen. Present one. Tough.
I'll tell you what, people are going to laugh at me, but I would like to have seen Styx, Circa, with Dennis DeYoung singing Circa, Grand Illusion, Pieces of 8. So I would like to have seen them after Pieces of 8 came out. And not so I could see Tommy Shaw sing Aku, Aku, but pre-Mr. Roboto.
Pre-Mr. Roboto, okay.
Pre-Mr. Roboto. Pre-Kilroy was here. So, Stubble McShave sends in a tip and says, when it comes to streaming both movies and music, I'd like to see more clickable information. Spotify could have information on which musicians played on and produced a song. There could also be some short video files showing their work in the studio. Hey, I agree with all that. The problem is you've got all of that involves paying money for people to actually do that. And nowadays, like, you would think that would be something in Europe they would pay for. But nowadays, it's really frustrating. In America, nobody sees any value in any of that anymore. Even though I agree with you, I'd love to see clips. I'd love to have all the credits, like liner notes on records. I mean, it's unfortunate that we're getting rid of all that as a species. And it's like everything else. Only human beings can decide what is meaningful to us. Only we can make that decision. And if you define everything in financial terms, putting up liner notes is not seen necessarily as being valuable, but we have to make it valuable. And I think that it's like packaging. You know, you look at the Japanese who do cool things with packaging because they care. You know, or you look at the French media books you buy, like that French To Live and Die in L.A. book. Only in France would somebody have decided that movie was worthy of a media book, or the book like a big, thick, slip-cased book. In America, people would look at how much money the movie made and would say, no. Everything in America, everything our companies do is based only and solely on profit. And I really think that that's a problem that human beings have, especially with AI coming at us. We as a civilization have to decide to what means something. And people could say, well, Rob, you're just talking materialistic. And I'm like, no, what Stubble's suggesting is putting out these kinds of things, anything that gives you greater appreciation. We just take, no one cares about anything anymore. It's all just taken for granted. Everything is disposable, but we have to imbue it with meaning. We have to give it meaning. And I think by doing stuff like that, we would. And I think it's important. Just my thoughts. Maybe I'll do observations on that. But, only we can make things have meaning. Anyway, on that note, I know when I wax rhapsodic, you're like, wait, what? What are we talking about now? All I know is now I want Captain Future Metal Tech MT1
Get it, Rob.
Future Comic. Well, it's a
we'll look if I can send you a YouTube clip at least about the music a little bit that they changed here in Germany, because it was greatly done, and greatly dubbed.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, dude, this Captain Future toy is dope. But it's what you have, but it's the redone one.
Yeah, this is still the old one.
Yeah, the old one. I mean, that's the cool one to have, and it's in such good shape. So it's kind of like the Bandai Soul of Chogokin line of Japanese super robots from the 70s. It's that same thing. It's this, but they've updated it and made it better. Okay. But anyway, should we end this long show?
Are we through with Super Chats, Rob?
Yes.
Okay.
We are all caught up.
Rob, I don't know if you have seen it. I totally dug it. The new series on Paramount Plus from Taylor Sheridan. Special Ops Linus.
I haven't finished
it. Great time.
I'm about half. I really was enjoying it. I thought the first episode, I was like, I just watched it. The first episode, I watched it before it was up officially.
Oh.
And I thought that first episode was great. Zoe Saldana was great. That first 10 minutes, I was like, oh my God, when she decides to kill her own. Because who knew she was going to get raped and murdered anyway? So Zoe Saldana was like, takes her out. I was like, whoa, this is hardcore. Yeah. It's really good. The whole thing. So the whole thing was good?
Yeah, totally. So you will have a blast. And then on digital, I watched Last Voyage of the Demeter. Totally will get it from Andre Overdahl, our director who did the Autopsy of Jane Doe. Perhaps not a little bit too long, the pacing trips a little bit, but still great atmosphere, greatly done from the production. Unfortunately, a little bit of a shipwreck at the box office, but I will buy it. And of course, I told you about it. The last thing, I started a little bit playing Starfield, the game that came out.
By the way, you got to give mad props to the director of The Last Voyage of the Demeter, because it's Andre Overdahl. You know what he directed?
Yeah.
The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Exactly. And Troll Hunter, and the other one that I liked from him was.
And you got me that media book.
Yeah, and he did another movie that I quite enjoy. I think it was called Thor, and of course it was not about a comic figure, but it was something about him, which was great. Too. And like I said, I started a little bit playing Starfield, but just because I have the Game Pass still paid, so the movie, the game didn't cost me anything except for the Game Pass. So I get the mixed reviews about it, but I'm getting in there a little bit, so I will probably dive a little bit deeper into Starfield. Considering if you have the Game Pass, it's a non-brainer to at least try it if you will like it.
All right.
Considering buying, the reviews are a little bit mediocre, and perhaps you knew that S that S had a special video about Starfield.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did see
So
that.
that was the stuff that I have seen, Rob. Okay, I think. So BDEP, I'm saying this now to you in German, and Rob will translate it to you, that you know what I'm saying when I say, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. All you have to do is listen. And with that, I can say to everybody, thank you, all of you, for supporting the channel via Super Chats and tips. That's very nice of you. I want to thank our moderating staff. Of course, people like Tom Jr. Jackson and Lord Toth and everybody who hangs out with us. I don't know if there's other people here that besides Lord Toth. I have to say, whenever I see Lord Toth, because the episode of Star Trek Whom Gods Destroy from the third season has Lord Garth, so I think Lord Garth, so I have to say Lord Toth. So thank you for being here. I want to thank everybody, and there will be, of course, another members chat next week, and all that. We've got good physical media coming out, and I will have, since we've gone long, King Tanic's new episode 31 of the Otaku Experience will be up in an hour. So look for that at 3:30. Nice. It will drop, and it'll be interesting to see what King Tanic has to say. And on that note, I guess
see you next week.
See you next week, and all of that good stuff. Once again, I've lost my control board. No. So everyone, we'll see you next week.
Next week.